Hey, we're back.
Hey.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Saturday night. Wherever you live, I hope it's as hot as it is right here, because I love it. I love the heat. But welcome back to the Vagabonds D&D, which is actually Baggage Claim D&D. This is the Vagabond story. I always do that. Anyway, right above me, you've got Kanan, played by Abigail. Next is Varys Halimian, played by Jevin. Next is Anira, played by Sky. Next is Harriet, played by Haley, who's laughing uncontrollably. And the last is Zarius, played by George. Welcome, everyone, to this game. So, I have been incredibly busy this week. Working a ton. I haven't had time to get all of my stuff prepped just yet, so... or write a recap, so that's nice. So it's gonna be like a free, kind of whatever I can think of for a recap. Hope that's all right.
Last episode, things happened. We saw a guy in the ruins, and that's where we left off.
Yeah, if you want to find out what happened last time, you can go to our YouTube channel and watch it, the full episode there. Boom. You can watch every episode up to like when we did Comic-Con. Also, I personally started making YouTube videos. The first one is hosted. If you search my name, which is Matthew Lake, but the last name is spelled weird.
Lake.
Writing.
That's a really long username.
It's the longest username. But it's about, I offer like DM tips. So far the first video is out. It's about like writing descriptive scenes, which is a really easy thing to do if you are directed and you know what you're doing. Which I give advice on how to do that. So if you want your scenes to be exciting and interesting, go and check that out. I would love.
It's pretty fire.
Is it? Okay, good. Yeah.
The editing sent me. I just.
The editing.
If not for the advice, watch it for us to know that the audience knows nothing, because we don't.
I forgot about that.
Zero
joke.
brain cells.
That joke gets me every time. I've watched the video like 100 times. Every time it makes me laugh. It's so funny. I forget about it every time through. Okay. Unless anyone has anything else, I'm not even drinking Canada Dry. That's how upset I am. I'm drinking water. Can you believe it?
Water.
I know.
I'm also drinking water and not Canada Dry, but we could be drinking Canada Dry if Canada Dry reached out and answered our calls for sponsorship. So
yeah, that's now a Twitch channel and 2 YouTube channels that they would be on. They just don't want to do
I've tried to send a letter, and they threatened to cease and desist.
That doesn't sound like bold behavior to me.
Yeah, that's not bold behavior. No, not really, but
Oh god.
imagine.
I was like, oh god. The corporate Canada Dry.
All right. Well, unless there's anything else anyone wants to shout out or mention, we'll jump into the recap. Again, I didn't write this out, so I'm just going off of my memory. But last time on the Vagabonds, the party ventured into the area of Haversteep, trekking across the plains after meeting and spending an evening, not that kind of evening, but spending an evening with Rikos, the stone giant, Dreamwalker stone giant. He first attacked and then reconciled with the party and had an interesting conversation, an interesting evening of conversations, where they spoke about how the world came to be as far as they understand it, the terrain and the layout. They had an interesting experience looking at his mural that he'd created along the wall there, memorializing all of the dead that he has seen or people that he's remembered in his life. Harriet had a crazy dream where a bunch of intense stuff happened. And then the party set out again across the plains, taking Rikos' advice to avoid going directly into Norial, the richer, kind of Sun Valley-esque city nearby, where very wealthy inhabitants of the Tarred Protectorate hang out and have like summer homes and those kinds of things. As they went around the city, emissaries and soldiers from the city came to meet them and really informed them that they shouldn't go into the place that they already weren't going anyway, but let them know that they had had a bit of a rat infestation as of late. They've been trying to figure out some solution for it, apparently, and no visitors were allowed at the time unless you knew someone by name who had invited you personally. The party was already not going into the city in the first place, so they just continued on their way. But interesting to note. You trekked across the plains, the rolling hills, towards the, as Rikos put it, the land of the ill clouds. And as you grow closer and closer, the clouds kind of just hanging over this territory around Haversteep. You saw the walls rise up out of the ground, coated in a kind of moss that was just present there from the heavy rainfall. But also, you saw protrusions sticking out from the walls that were ready to break off should someone try to climb up the edges. Along the base, around the base of the walls, and there were a lot of unfortunate and pointy things that you'd fall on were you to try to climb and fall. Some soldiers, as you approached, were sent out on a detail to clean out those pit traps, and you made your way up, approaching the front gate of Haversteep, the territory leading into Haversteep. As you approached, you were met by a detachment of guards, led by a woman whose name I can't remember at the moment. And she allowed you in after asking you a few questions, trying to suss out where your allegiances might lie, who you might be friends with or enemies with, and ultimately allowed you in without too much questioning. You ventured in and turned back to see some pretty disturbing and propaganda-esque posters hung up on the wall. One of Tadriel's face superimposed behind a comforted family, looking very happy and healthy, and the other a poster of the Scries, lined up next to each other, who are a group of, for what you know so far, a group of inquisitors, you could say, dressed in black robes, each with a ribbon, a ribbon of white on their collar, or lapel of chest. They apparently are some kind of police force or investigators or something like that. You're not quite sure yet. But you continued on, seeing the large, heavy metal gates close behind you, and chose to venture off towards Moorstop, rather than going directly into Haversteep, towards more where the Order of Xenia Library, the ruined Order of Xenia Library, had been in the past. In order to meet Arcturus, who you met once before at Corzin Phaedraw's dinner, way back in New Calamon, before we even started streaming. If only we'd had more viewers then we could have started streaming earlier. Just kidding. Well, you ventured out, and you found your way to the library, the rain kind of really weighing you down over the next few days of travel. The rain was really let up only a couple of times, but the cloud coverage has been non-stop since you entered this area. You haven't yet seen the sun. You travel through the soggy plains, eventually finding your way to this ruined library. We'll start at the outside of the library. We'll keep the decisions that you all made last time, but we'll start outside of the library so we can set the mood and tone and all of that. So, that is where we're going to pick it up. Just give me a moment here to pick our thingy-dingies. Don't worry, it's not that happy. Okay. Kanan sneezes.
I got blown.
Okay, so
they know.
Here we go. All right, let me put everyone. Sorry, audience. This is one of the last pieces of art that I found before I stopped doing that, because I can't show it on stream because I don't want to steal somebody's artwork. But it's very good, and the interior of the building is just incredible. That was the description. I'm just kidding. Okay,
just incredible.
The interior of the building is incredible, even in its decaying state. The stained glass that remains casts beautiful multicolored light about the space, creating strange shadows throughout. Flowering vines sprawl their fingers in, dangling through the open holes in the ceiling and dripping the remnants of the recent rainfall, and several dozen birds flit about the space, taking refuge in the open spots on the remaining bookcases. Most of the books scattered on the ground are not only so waterlogged they've turned to mush, most have also been burned to cinders, including most of those in the bookcases. In fact, Kanan, as you were searching before, you were having a hard time spotting even one that had been unspoiled, but after a quick investigation, thanks to a high roll, you did find one titled Wraithor Innis, which we covered last time. About 6 inches of water sits on the floor of the building, which you now notice was, at one point, painted and carved with intricate designs that have all faded and become warped or deformed with the immense rainfall and standing water. You can hear the building creaking and aching around you even as you stand in it. Further examining the scene, You see a large, square-shaped podium at the far end of the building, evidently used to speak from, and what appears to be a humanoid body laying atop of it at an unnatural angle. The person is wearing a long black robe with very functional pants and a shirt underneath. You also see a large spear pole jutting out from the chest of the body, pinning it to the podium. You chose to approach the body, and you recognized it to be a human man with pale skin. The last time you saw this face was at Corzin Fate Draw's party. This is the face of Arcturus. As you're looking the body over, Zarius, Kanan, and Anira, you hear a slight noise, like a book sliding down one of the many piles around, and whip your heads to catch a glance. Before you see anything, are any of you preparing spells or weapons as a reaction? Are you gonna fire off right when you see this thing?
She'd probably pull out a quarterstaff and just have Shillelagh ready, but not like raring to boop, you know?
Yeah.
Darius will draw a sword, but...
Okay.
I'm gonna draw my dagger and take a protective stance,
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Just want to make sure if you want to attack anything, you're good to go. All right, you turn and you see a number of books tumbling down a large pile of debris and other ruined texts, along with the small human body of a child, no more than 5 or 6 years old. The child tumbles and rolls down the steep incline, eventually slamming into what is left of the bookcase behind. The body is limp and unmoving and appears to be wearing a fairly basic clothing, though most of the clothes are beginning to show holes and bare threads in places. As the child tumbled down, they slammed his head on the back of the bookcase, and he lays there unmoving. What would you all like to do?
Can I pop a healing? Is he close enough to pop a healing word?
From where you're standing, he's right at the edge of that range. You could try it. You might have to move a little closer to have it be.
Yeah. Can I like just close enough to? I don't want to be like up on him.
Yeah.
But like close enough for just a first level.
Sure. Yeah.
Healing
Go ahead and
word.
cast it. 7 points. Nice. You approach and you call out the healing word, and from here it's hard to see any real effect, but you know that you cast the spell, so you're not quite sure.
Cool.
From 55 feet away, it's kind of hard to tell the state of someone, but you did cast the spell. So, what would the rest of you like to do?
What's going on?
What is this?
Can I call out just like, hey?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? I'll try it.
What?
Can I get any?
What are you doing?
Can I? What race is the child? Can I tell?
It looked either human or elf or half elf, something like that. Just
Okay. Could I try calling out in Sylvan? Do you understand me?
there's no response.
Myra, it's a child, and Kanan's gonna run up to the kid and cast Cure Wounds.
Boris will go with Kevin.
All right.
Harriet's still watching the body.
Okay.
Here it is.
Good to know.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay. So, Kanan, you run up. Make a medicine check.
Okay. Medicine.
13. Okay. And what were you gonna say?
Kaden's gonna go up to the kid, kind of grab it, cradle it. I chill with Ella and be like, "Are you okay?" And she'll just kind of like tap the kid's face gently.
Okay. You see the child's cheeks are gaunt and his face is dirty, but you can tell underneath the smears of grime that he's pale and undernourished, but he's not starving to death. A number of small lacerations are present on his arms and legs, likely from tumbling down the book hill. But even with your cure wounds and an Iris healing word, you can see those closing up as the magic starts to take effect. As you kind of pick up the child, your fingers behind his head feel just wet, and it's likely that he cracked his head open on the back. But even that, with the amount of magic that the two of you have put into a child, he's gonna heal from it. But his hair is all matted down from another cut. He is just unconscious. As you kind of gently slap his face, not like, but you know, you're just tapping him. Yeah. He kind of very blearily opens his eyes and looks really dazed and confused. He says, "What? Who are you?"
Hi, I'm Kanan. I'm not gonna hurt you. You look like you've got a little bit of you hit your head, so you're gonna need to sit still for a while and don't fall asleep.
Okay.
Are you all right? Did someone attack you?
Well, I slipped on the books. Sometimes they're real slippery.
Yeah, water and books will do that. There's water coming in.
Yeah,
right?
just dripping
All
in,
the
yeah.
plants. Yeah. Water will do that. Here, why don't I'm gonna pick you up now, and Kanan's gonna pick up the kid, making sure to support. I know it's not an infant, but support his head, her head, and take him to a table and just kind of sit him down. I keep my hands on the child so they don't fall.
Okay.
Can I scan the area the kid fell from?
Sure, yeah. Are you just trying to catch a brief glimpse of what's there, or are you really trying to seek something out?
I'm just trying to see if there's if this is some sort of trap, someone planted a kid and they're waiting for us to be distracted.
Go ahead and make, I would say that's an investigation style check. 18, pretty good. And Ira, you kind of angle yourself so you can see up in that area, and aside from a few birds flittering about, you really don't see anything that looks like any kind of trap. You do see, it looks like old food stuff packaging, like wax paper that would be used to hold bread and stuff. Like, this kid probably comes here to hang out.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like anything is untoward here, other than this is an old, dilapidated building that's going to collapse sometime.
Cool.
But yeah, you get a pretty good look from where you're at. Obviously, you're not running up there, but you get a pretty good look and feel for the area, and it looks like this is just a place where this kid comes to hang out.
Cool. I will then walk to the child and Kanan.
Okay.
And just kind of be there.
Yeah, he sits there and he kind of rubs his head and leans back against the back of the bookcase that's behind him, and he says, Your name's Kanan?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, my name's Jax.
What? Jax? It's nice to meet you, Jax. Are you well enough to sit up on your own?
Yeah, I can do. I'm a big kid.
Yeah, that you are.
Obviously, you'd guess he's probably 5 or 6.
Where are your parents?
Well, my dad's in Moorstop. My mom's not here anymore.
Oh, does your dad know you come here?
Yeah, he doesn't like it. It's far from home.
Well, that's okay, as long as he knows you're here. You wouldn't just fall like that and be left to your own devices. He would know where to find you.
Yeah. He's busy sometimes, though. I come here and meet Arky.
Arky?
Arky, he was teaching me to read the words that came with the pictures in the books.
With the pictures in the books?
Yeah, we would play hide and seek and we'd look for good books together. I'd show him the pictures and he'd tell me how to read the words.
Okay, while the kid is distracted, can I actually move back to the body and try to just have it not be just a body with a spear through it with this child right there?
Yeah, from where you're at, you're kind of in one of these alcoves to the side, so the kid can't see the podium. Yeah, the table's just like in one of these alcoves off to the side. There's rows of bookcases between you and it. I mean, he can't see that.
Okay, cool.
But yeah,
Cool.
good positioning is important. Yeah. Meanwhile, Harriet, is there anything that you are wanting to investigate or check out with this? But I don't want to just leave you on your own.
That's fine. She's not running up to the body, but definitely, the kind of making sure, seeing if he's dead or struggling still, like if there's some breath left. You know what I mean? That's kind of what she's looking for.
Okay, make a medicine check. Six. From where you're at, it's a little hard to tell for sure how long ago he died, but he is definitely dead. I mean, you can start to see, even from where you're at, his cheeks are kind of sunken in. You guess anywhere from a couple days to maybe a week or two. You're not quite sure. But from that distance. But yeah, he's definitely dead.
Yeah, she's not trying to separate too far from everybody else, so she's not going to get any closer right now.
Okay. Meanwhile, with Kanan, he says, Jack says, yeah, we would look for books, and the good ones I'd find I would give to him.
But you can see the pictures. You can make the pictures.
Well, yeah, everyone can make the pictures, right?
No, you're very special.
Me? I'm special?
Yes, but don't let it get to your head, because that can be dangerous.
Kind of like feels around his head, and he's like, is that special? He points to like the blood that's matting down the back of his hair.
That's a different kind of special. That's a you need medical attention special. Kanan's not a mom.
That's a you need medical attention kind of special.
Medical attention kind of special.
Welcome to the Vagabonds Cafe. Today our specials are seeing pictures when you read books or medical attention.
Or death.
He gets a really serious look on his face, and he says, I know Arky's not okay.
Caden's just gonna look over at Harriet and Anira. Did I notice them over near the body? Or looking at the body?
You all kind of approached it before this happened, so.
Yeah. Caden's just gonna kind of look at everyone else like.
He's on another adventure, if you want to think about it like that.
Yeah, he's dead.
Kanan.
Wow.
The kid can take it.
Well, to die would be an awfully grand adventure, so.
I saw them hurt him.
You saw it happen?
Yeah, I saw them. They said, you turned your back on our order. And then they stuck the spear through him. And then he stopped moving. And then the scries took all the stuff out of his pockets and they looked around, but I hid real good and they didn't find me. I was really scared.
That's good.
It's very good.
You were really brave. You were a really big kid.
Are you here to help? Last week Arky said some heroes were coming to protect us, so we didn't have to be scared anymore. He said they were great warriors, like the ones who saved the people before. And he pretends to like hold a sword up, and he said they would fix the sky so it's sunny again and stop the rain. He said they would stop the weeding.
The weeding? You guys do a lot of gardening?
Well, I don't know how it works. Sometimes someone gets a strip of white hair, and then the scries come and they take them to the big city. And then they don't come back.
Oh. Did this happen with your mom?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jax. I bet you were real strong about it. Just like you were strong today or was it today that Arky got hurt?
No. I keep coming back to see if he'll wake up.
Well, I don't think he's gonna wake up.
No. No, he's not. You see him kind of start to like gain a little bit of composure, and he looks out one of the windows at the sky and he says, we need to go back now, or we won't be back before dark and I'll get in trouble. My dad will be upset I stayed out so late. Will you come with me? Sometimes it's scary out there.
Yeah, here, hop up on my back and I'll turn my backpack so that it's in the front so this kid can get on my back.
No, I'll walk. I'm good. I'm a big kid.
That you are. You don't want to be even bigger, even taller?
No.
Okay.
No.
He hops off the table, and you see him kind of lean out of the library bookcases and look towards Arcturus, and just wave, and then head towards one of the holes that's definitely too small for any of you to fit out of, but it's the one he clearly uses in the side, and he just slips out, and then looks back sticks his head back through the hole and says, okay, we need to go.
You wait here and we'll meet you on the outside. I don't think we'll fit here.
Okay.
And we'll walk to the outside.
What about the rest of you? Looking around at all inside, or looking for books, or?
Do we see any like visible ladders or ways to get upstairs where he fell from?
It wasn't really stairs. It was just like a big pile of books. So like they'd been piled up to be burned, and then they just never got around to burning them. So you could just climb up there, but it'd be slick, you know. Just that's all he was doing, is just running up the side of this little hill.
Yeah. That was all.
Okay.
I keep my eyes out for another book that looks like it's in a decent condition. I know I have the one from last.
Okay. Let me see. I don't know if there was another one that was good. I'm trying to remember your roll from last time.
It was pretty high.
Was it with the 24 investigation, or was it with the perception?
Would have been investigation.
The D4 roll was a 1. Because it was right at the end of the last session, yeah?
I think so. I don't remember. Well, we'll just say, since I can't remember, go ahead and roll a D20. Or yeah, just roll an investigation check. $16, okay. You look around, and you give a pretty good look around, and you're certain that there's something here, but given the time constraint of not wanting to leave this kid, I mean, you have to choose. Either you wait and look around for another hour or so, or you move on. So as with that roll, you don't find anything else, anything additional.
Okay, I'll just come back another time.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so the rest of you are heading outside and around the side of the building to back to Jax. All right.
So,
Cool.
Can you check Discord real quick?
Yes, if I have it open. Sure. Just,
Yay.
yeah, a bunch of random scraps. Yeah, it's easy peasy. Okay. And, all right, so as you all clamber out of the building, trying to avoid the slipping on any of the slick and moss-covered debris. Gotta change our mood here.
Lonesome West, baby.
Not quite. There we go. All right. Yeah, as you try to avoid slipping on any of the slick and moss-covered debris, Jax quickly is already, as soon as he sees you, he's taken on like an almost run. A little kid run. And definitely avoiding the larger puddles and debris that have built up since you've been inside. Yes? Do you have something you want to say, Kanan?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, I was just nodding.
Okay. The rain has once more set in, and you can hear... Oh, that's why there's no noise for that. I was like, where's my noise? I turned it off. That's why. The rain has once more set in, and you can hear the sound of the crows unseen echoing across the wet plains. You travel, and as you do so, you notice that Jax moves very comfortably and confidently, as if he's traveled this way a million times before, and that he isn't really using any sort of terrain features to guide his travel. He's just kind of using dead reckoning and just walking the direction he knows it to be. After about 2 hours of walking, the rain finally lets up once more, and you feel the air steadily cooling and the sky above beginning to darken. It's not quite there yet, but the evening is fast approaching. You all make pretty good time, and I don't know why I made so many transitions here, sorry. Between, like, places, or soundscapes, I guess. But here we are. All right. So, as you continue with Jax, he raises his small arm and points ahead before saying, "My town is there. We're almost home."
Oh, that's good. Are they gonna be okay with us coming in?
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
All right. Well, we'll see you home then.
So, looking where he points at, you all can just make out the hard edges of rooftops, walls, and other structures that are clearly man-made. You continue on, following Jax's lead, and quickly find yourselves approaching a sizable village, a little larger than Halliston. Most of the buildings have rusted metal roofs that all have a similar orangish-gray color that sit atop rough stone walls with plaster of some kind of like tar-like substance, apparently used to repel water. The resulting structures all have a somewhat drab uniformity to them. Around this village, 7-foot stone walls rise up from the mud and grass, and the housing for the gates nearest you, where Jax is leading you, extend up to about 15 feet tall. The metal gates themselves are a blackish iron latticework that looks to have remained open for so long that the earth around the bases has built up and secured them in place as they are open. On either side of the 20-foot wide gates, 2 enormous posters are attached to the stone walls on the outside, similar in artistic style to the ones that you saw on the interior walls of Haversteep's territory. The poster on the left shows a soldier with a grim expression, clad in heavy armor, staring right into you as you look at it, through the slit of an iron helmet, set behind a trio of beautiful women all carrying farm equipment or baskets full of produce. The text above and below reads, "The Iron Legion fights so they don't have to." The other poster shows a younger man putting on a low and tight-fitting hat, covering up thick black hair with a shock of white extending up from his scalp near his forehead. And behind him, a woman turns to someone dressed in the black clothing worn by the scribes, which you're familiar with, just seeing Arcturus, and holding her hand near her mouth as if to hide what she's saying from the man in the hat. The text reads, "Support the weeding. If you see this election, report it to the nearest scry." There are no guards present outside this gate, and the walls don't appear to have any place for anyone to stand watch or anything like that. As you get pretty close, Jax excitedly takes on a run and just rushes into town, leaving you all for a moment outside the city. Small town. Sorry, I keep saying city because I hate using the same words over and over, but it's like a town/village. So, what would you all like to do?
Well, I can't imagine there's just maybe some other Iron Legion.
No. My best guess is there's also word of us over here. Or do you think that's from before? I don't know, the competition.
Weren't they the pride of Haverstein? They were like selected of, I
think so.
Like it was a favor from one guy to the other that I don't want to mention their names here. But if we have to run, we have to run, I guess. We already chose fake names if we want to do the whole disguising ourselves.
Hold on, I have to remember what my fake name was.
I think my fake name was Lana.
I was Varel. I believe Zarius was Frederick?
Yeah,
Sure, that works for me.
that's what I chose for you, because you didn't.
Much appreciated.
I'm Bert, specifically Captain Bert Reynolds, Esquire.
Oh. How...
So,
Captain, my captain.
That's me.
if we want to do the whole disguise self moment, but I don't know how long it lasts, and if we want to keep it up the entire time we're here.
We might just
What if we go settle in first?
go and try to find a place to sleep if anything happens. Leave town and then maybe disguise self and go back in.
I can do
Make
makeup
sure the
overnight.
kid's alright. Makes it home okay. Looks
Maybe
like
that
a
would be part
pretty
of-
nasty cut on his head.
Maybe that will be part of redeeming our name, is saving a child or something.
Damn our name. I don't care.
It might be good to check if they even have our names first.
So are we using our fake names or not?
I think we just go in and gauge it from there.
That's a bad plan.
That sounds about on brand.
The
I don't know
jokes.
why I'm sorry.
All right, heading into town. Okay. As you follow Jax into town and get your bearings, you're met with the immediate sense of two people needing to make a perception check.
Ooh, I'll get one.
I'll get one.
Every time.
Do my tiefling eyes here.
Ooh,
Okay.
hey.
13 and 12. Really middling. Okay. So as you follow Jax into town and get your bearings, you all notice immediately that the gray and blackish color of the buildings makes it very difficult to distinguish any of them from one another. The closeness of the structures and their similar construction only adds to this, and most of you feel wholly out of place in an area like this. Only Zarius feeling a sense of familiarity due to growing up in Galston. The streets are fairly well maintained, being made from cobblestone and sealed with the same tar that covers the sides of the buildings. Deep ruts are dug on either side of the streets and are currently full of rainwater that still drips from the rooftops of the buildings lining the roads. You don't notice any more of those same posters that you saw on the outside walls, however, inside the town. The sidewalks are covered by awnings built off from the buildings and are busier than you'd expected for a town of this size, and the people all have a certain air about them that you feel you could better understand if two of you made insight checks.
I got you an inside check.
I'll make one.
Okay.
Ooh, not great.
Nat 1 with you still get a 10 on a nat
Not-
1. 8, okay.
Average, but a nat one.
Okay.
Better than
So, as you're walking through the streets trying to follow Jax, some people do make cautious eye contact with you briefly before casting their eyes downward, and you notice several of them do give like hesitant smiles. You get the, okay, let me say this. You get the sense that many of these people are friendly at heart, but they're very cautious of strangers. There's a really deep feeling of wariness or unease hanging in the air. Can't quite make out specifically what it is, but I mean, even with it, it's a nat 1, but it's still a 10. So I'm gonna, kind of play the middle ground here. One thing you do notice, Zarius, I forgot to mention earlier, because of your passive perception, is that more people are carrying concealed weapons like daggers and short swords than you've seen since Falderstep. So a lot of people
definitely be paying attention to that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a passive perception kind of thing. I figure Zarius is just always gonna be looking for that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
So that's that. I can't really give too much more specific because you just didn't rely on it.
You rolled a 1.
Yeah.
We gotta ask him how they feel about us.
Meanwhile,
Hello, friend.
Jax has rounded a corner ahead and pushed aside a heavy wooden door. So right from where you are, you can see down this little alleyway that he took, and he pushes this heavy wooden door inside, and warm golden light is cast out onto the cool gray street. Above the door, you see a sign stenciled with a large mug filled with blackish brown liquid and steam rising over top, next to a plate of hash browns and sausages. The words on the sign read Franken Beans, so just so I can put it in the chat. That's how the sign is spelled.
Oh.
Franken Beans. And even from the brief instant of Jax opening the door, the comforting smell of hot food and the powerful, earthy aroma of coffee has poured out into the room. What would you all like to do?
Start drooling.
Yeah.
Coffee Town.
Oh my goodness, this must be the best food in a while. No offense, Zarius. And those
No,
oatcakes
none
are
taken.
wonderful, but
Okay, stop it, good.
the bear ate them all, and
I forgot about that.
This feeling right here, ladies and gentlemen, is what we vagabonds live for. Traveling to a new place and feeling home. Right there.
Is that what we live for?
Yes, that's what I live for.
And as our leader,
As the namesake of Varus's...
Is this whole thing? Have you tricked me for a year to just be doing a long-term pub crawl for a year?
I mean, basically, yeah. I would assume so.
Well, I suppose we might as well go in.
I hold my
The
right
occasional
to remain
drag.
silent.
There wasn't
I'm
a
such a
pub in
bad
the
life.
Hells, was there?
Yes, there was. I
You
got
have to go
very
back.
drunk. I got very drunk.
Oh yeah, I was unconscious.
Remember that time with the barrels, Zarius?
We're not going to talk about that. All right? It only led me to falling off the building once.
Darius is always out for a party.
Well, you've got to know how to relax in order to be serious.
Oh my goodness.
That hurts a little bit. I might even drink coffee after that one.
That would be something.
Okay, well, we're going in. Next
Yeah.
step
Yes.
on the
All right.
pub crawl.
Continue the pub crawl.
You follow Jax into the building just in time to make a perception check. Just 2 people.
Heck yeah!
Oh, okay.
It's like we got here just in time.
Are we all or just two?
Just 2.
Okay. Who's doing the second?
Vagabonds.
I mean, just
Because
one
it
with a
can be
23 is
me.
fine.
Okay.
So you step into
Oh,
the
really?
building, pushing aside the thick wooden door, and see a wonderfully cluttered interior. Small and large tables alike are scattered about the space, with varying numbers of chairs circled about them. Each table seems to have names, initials, and generally artistic carvings etched into nearly every available surface. A small scattering of people populate the area, and you hear gentle music being played from somewhere in the corner. Some of the clusters of people appear to be comparing notes on some kind of music or poetry or something like that, and others are actively making the carvings that you've seen everywhere on the tables. the bar sits directly in front of you, and the wall behind the bartender is filled with different bottles, all kinds of different glass work and all these things. Various machines and accoutrements litter the countertop, and the hissing of steam, the clang of dishes, and hearty conversation fills the space. Directly to your right, you see the dining area extend a ways until ending in a large single wall. On first glance, the wall appears to be just a unique type of wood texture, with some artwork attached here and there, but on a closer look, you see that what you thought was simple texture of wood is actually the carved handwriting of hundreds of different people. For those of you with better eyesight, Zarius included, you can even make out some of the words carved in, and you see name after name after name, each with a date written next to it. Adorning each name is a small trinket. Next to some is something as simple as a piece of ribbon or a torn cloth, a lock of hair, or a piece of ornamental jewelry. Next to others are much more elaborate artifacts like folded paper birds, a watch, a drawn image. The wall is covered in these items, so much that it nearly obscures it altogether.
Would it be possible to take like a mental note of, like, just look at a couple, obviously not like going name by name, but look at a couple and see like what the oldest date he sees is?
I mean, at a glance, it'd be tough to say, just because you're looking at a wall of like several hundred things, so you can just pick one and there's a date there, basically. So
okay, cool.
But the oldest date, I would say the oldest date that you catch at a glance is from like 15 years ago, 17 years ago, somewhere in there. But you're not doing a full, thorough investigation, so.
Right, yeah.
Before you can examine this further, you notice Jax rushing by the right side of the bar, ducking past the stairway that goes up to the second floor, and pushing by an imposingly large human man that's coming from a stairwell descending down, who feigns outrage at Jax at first, but smiles warmly at him after he passes by, pretends to be like, the man then folds his arms and takes on a very grim expression, standing in front of the stairwell descending downward, apparently acting as some kind of security guard. What would you all like to do?
That's taken care of. Now starts the pub crawl.
Get a drink.
What time of day is it that we're having a pub crawl right now?
Night.
Roughly nighttime?
It's like very early evening, so like maybe 5 or 6 o'clock. Remember. Yeah, it's like maybe 5 or 6 o'clock.
7 a.m.
I definitely need something to sip on while we discuss all of what just happened, because that was a lot, and we didn't really have time to process that.
Right.
So perhaps we get drinks and find a table and you can talk.
Looks to me. Does it look like there's open tables, or is it super?
No, there's a bunch of open tables. It's not. I mean, there's like maybe 20 or 30 people in here, but the place could hold like 150, so it's not full by any means. It just feels, it has that kind of fullness feeling because of all the like trinkets and artifacts. Like think of like a coffee shop. It's that kind of, yeah.
And you may have said this, but it might have slipped my mind. What's the like racial makeup here?
I didn't say. It's mostly human. There are some variations like half elf or elf, or you do see a couple of like halflings and gnomes running around too, but pretty much the standard human-looking races. So you two stand out a little bit, but no one really seems to like care. It's not like anybody's paying you undue attention.
Table it is?
Yeah. Is there like a corner table or somewhere that's away from other groups of people?
You can get a spot that's a little further away. There are no like booths or tables like set against the wall. They're all just round tables set, kind of towards the interior. Well, you could pull some chairs around one though. There's enough sizable ones that you could all sit around, no problem.
Sure.
Okay.
All right, so you take a seat. You don't notice any servers coming around at all, so There's just the one guy behind the bar. That's it.
Is that the guy that was guarding, like, the place Jax went into?
No. Jax went just to the right side of the bar, and then there's a stairwell going up and down just to the right of that. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I can go order us drinks from man behind the counter.
maybe some of that Frankenbeans.
I don't think that's a drink.
It's food.
Oh,
You
we
get a
want
Frank.
food?
I would love some food. I'll give you a couple gold for it.
Frank is a food?
Like a Frank, it's like a sausage.
Oh.
How about I just ask him for the local special, whatever's local? Yeah,
All right, whatever it is they've got, it smells wonderful.
I agree.
So,
I'll get up, head over to man behind the bar.
All right, you approach. Says, "Hello, friend.
Hi.
What can I get for you?"
Whatever's local. We're just travelers, and even lodging too, if you do that here. But mostly for now, just whatever's local in terms of food and drink. There's 5 of us.
Well, we don't get many travelers. Where are you from?
We are from all over, but we met up kind of in New Calamon, traveled here.
Well, you sitting right over there?
Yeah, that's us.
Give me a few minutes. I'll take
Sure.
care of this and bring it out to you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Of course.
Can I make an insight check on him?
Yeah? What are you looking for?
Does he seem genuine, or is he, like, sus of us?
Go ahead and make your roll. 14. He's definitely asking pointed questions. So he's not just asking to chit chat. He's asking for a reason, but you can't really suss out what that reason is.
Okay. And not, like, directed specifically at us? Or can I tell?
You can't tell with that roll.
Okay. Fair enough. So,
He's definitely
I'll
got
just head
something more going on than just being a nice guy.
yeah.
Don't we all? I mean,
Right.
So,
So
I'll
you
just
go
head
back
back.
and sit down. Meanwhile, as you did notice while you're up there, that large bodyguard guy who's standing on the doorway just eyes on you the whole time, you know? But yeah, you head back and sit down. Maybe 10 or 15 minutes later, they bring out, the bartender brings out this big tray of food. Has just plates of like hash browns, like these big heaping mounds of hash browns and sausages and a bunch of coffee, and says, "Here you go. My name's Ren. I work the bar here, so if you need anything else, just let me know."
May I ask, what do you fry these things?
Well, yeah,
What oil do you use?
the frying kind.
I suppose that's a good answer. Okay. And she will just grab a cup of coffee.
Okay.
want a special meal plan, Anira?
Well, I try to avoid eating animal-based things because that can get weird. Especially because I can, I can talk to them, so that feels almost like cannibalism. So if it's like animal fat oil, then that's weird. But if it's some other sort of...
So if you can talk to things, it's cannibalism?
Well, animals. Animals. Because let's not get into the specifics.
That's a good point. Can't you talk to plants?
Well, plants aren't living beings. They just have a shared consciousness with the earth.
I'm not
going
going
to
to comment on that.
enjoy my
That sounds like
meal.
they're living.
And not debate the intricacies of plant and animal life.
What
I've had
qualifies as life?
I've had 15 years to meditate on this. I can't explain it in 30 seconds. Nom 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 nom.
Mars
I'm
is
not
just
going
like
to
more for
pressure
me.
you to eat something. Whatever. And just
More
lean
for
over to
us.
Kaden. Is this the Frank? And gesture at the sauce.
I think that's the bean.
Oh, that one's the bean.
You know what beans are.
What beans are,
There are no
Kaden?
beans on the plate, by the way.
No.
No beans!
I'd say
I
that's a
need
Frank.
the beans.
It might be a John, though. Kidding. I'm making a very bad joke.
It looks like a
I'm
Harold to
making it
me.
like a John.
It's just like it goes right over her horns. Like, what the hell?
Never mind.
Anyways,
Pizza.
Dale, I'm glad we're all happy. Let's interrupt that happiness with something depressing. Our friend died. What do we do now?
They said that the child said that he betrayed their order or something. Maybe we find
Find the Black Order of the Fifth.
Did he say, Matt, George doesn't remember, but did he say anything about an order way back when? Or no, I think he just said, contact me, I'll be in Haverstein, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, order can be a name for any sort of organization.
He was wearing something similar to what those, whatever they're called, right?
Scribes?
Oh yeah, on the wall.
So maybe it's that?
I don't like
Well,
people
what-
with white hair.
What are these guys?
I don't know if asking would be the best thing for us. It seems like they're kind of wary of travelers.
I have white hair.
You are white hair.
Xeris, you've noticed as you've been talking with each other in this space that people have started listening. They're being very casual about it, and they're not making it overt that they're paying attention. But you and only you notice that you've got some eavesdroppers.
Maybe we
Oh.
continue this conversation later tonight.
Why?
Just because.
All right.
Mhm. Yeah.
But
And he'll kind of nod towards maybe one of the groups that's listening and like make eye contact with them.
Yeah, they're not looking at you. They're just
Oh.
you know, you can see
Well,
that they're
he'll just look at him.
yeah.
Heyo, I see you.
Yeah.
Well, if that conversation's done, see her pull out like a piece of paper, and she'll say, "Xerius, give me the name of a weapon."
Rapier.
Rapier, great. That's all for now. I will continue asking you questions later.
Okay.
That is really ominous.
That is very ominous. Should I be worried about my sword?
You're fine.
How much gold do you have on you?
Oh yeah, I was about to say. Probably less now.
Yeah.
How much did you have on you?
Yeah. How much did I have? 1450.
Okay, because it's been about a week.
Yeah.
Week and a half. So I'd say
Probably like two.
I'd say you lost about 200-300. Yeah, 250. I'd
Yeah.
say.
Oh, that makes the map easy. There we go.
Darius, so your pocket's feeling a bit lighter.
Yeah, actually they are. I don't know what it is about this sword. It's hungry.
Everyone has their thing.
Have you?
and you spoke to it.
Yeah, a little while back. It asked for platinum or silver or something. We gave it to it, and then it didn't talk again for a little while. And then we got really busy, and we were kind of chased out of the city, and we've been traveling. You know, I just didn't think about it.
I can give you my silver.
No, I already gave it some. I don't know what it wants now. Probably
That's
ask
a
it.
child.
Yeah.
Here, I'll give it to you, and she'll just give you 6 silver.
I'm picturing us putting coins into a coin, like a coin
Like a
machine.
little coin slot, yeah. And he'll take a silver and like put it on the hilt of the sword, see if it eats it.
Yeah, there is a slot for coins to
Or,
go
yeah,
into.
that-
Yeah, so,
yeah. Yeah.
Um, You stick it, nothing happens. It seems satisfied at this point.
Well, pay to play sword. Yeah.
Where's the lie?
No lie.
Oh, and I did inquire about rooms, but I think he was busy getting our food, so I don't know if they have that here. I would assume maybe with the big man over there, but...
Oh, should we ask him maybe? I can go over and ask.
I think maybe ask the barman. I think you might get punched if you ask the big man.
Oh, you know me, I'm speedy. They won't punch me.
It's still not good to get punched in a public place, even if you avoid it.
Like, attempted punching is still bad.
Yeah. It's the message, not the...
We're just got here.
All right. I'll go ask the barman.
His name is Ren.
Barman.
Ren.
I think that was the guy from the kitchen, wasn't it? That actually brought the food.
No, Ren is the bartender. He's the same guy.
Oh. Okay.
Same guy, sorry.
Right. I'll be back. Kanan will walk up to Ren and be like, hi, Ren. I'm just... we were wondering if you guys offered rooms or if there was any inn in town.
Well, yeah, we got rooms.
How much would that cost per night? We can share a room, all of us, or we can... Well, we usually like to share.
You know, I don't know. I don't know if we've got any rooms right now.
Oh, do you know any place that would have a room?
Where are you from?
Well, we passed through New Calamon. My friends and I.
Uh-huh.
Are you asking why?
Well, we just don't get a lot of travelers, so you know, we just like to ask and get to know some new people as best we can.
Oh, me too. I like to learn about people, and stories. If you guys have any stories, like I'm curious about some stories about these scries. I mean, I see all these posters up about them.
And we're dead.
Yeah, what do you know about the scries?
Murderized.
You seen any scries lately?
No.
Seen any scries?
I've seen the posters.
Seen any scry?
On a scale of 1 to 10,
How many scries have you
seen? Scries?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how many
In the
scries
last
have you
24
seen?
hours, would you estimate you have seen 1 to 3 scries, 4 to 6, or 7 plus?
7 plus, yeah.
Kind
Is
of
this
leans
like-
back a little bit. Says, well, if you want stories, there's a whole wall of them over there. You don't know about scries. Take a look.
Wait. Sorry, we're of course new in town, and we don't know the customs of this area. I've heard about a weeding, where people with white hair disappear, and as you can see, I've got a friend with white hair, and I just don't want to risk anything.
As there is.
Sorry, friend. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm insight check.
Sure.
Lying.
He's lying.
He's lying?
Yeah. He's not trying to hide that he's lying. He's for sure just definitely lying to your face.
Okay, but I get the feeling that you're lying to my face, and I really don't appreciate that. And I don't want to read about people who have been taken by these scries. I want to know what these scries do.
Sorry, I can't help you.
Right. It's probably dangerous for you guys. There's things happening, and we obviously can't know about it because we're outsiders. I swear the kid's more help than you guys. All right, we'll find some place to sleep. Are we gonna get taken by any scries if we sleep out in the woods? Or, on the plains?
I think maybe just enjoy your dinner. And then maybe we can talk after that.
Oh my god, you're a
And you
pain.
see him just like double checking, looking over at the bodyguard. Like not at the bodyguard, but looking like down the stairwell. As if expecting something. You don't get... Make an insight check.
I assume we have no idea that this is happening.
When you see Kanan talking with this guy, but he seems really casual and like
That's
not...
normal.
Yeah, he's not threatened at all. He's... 21. You get the sense with that look in particular that he's not... You don't feel any sense of danger. Just that he's being very distant and very purposeful in what he's answering and what he's not answering. And he looks like he's just waiting for something or someone.
Does it seem like a trap?
No.
I've heard some people have some rodent problems. Is that what you're experiencing down there? Because I can help.
Well, it's funny you should mention rodent problems. That's, it's an interesting... Hold on a sec, I gotta think, because I didn't expect that. And there are other things that are way down the line that I have to think about. One sec.
Oh, rats.
Oh, rats!
I came up with that title. Thank you. Thank you. I'm
so
very
good.
proud.
It was
You should
good.
be. As you should.
I'm just picturing the bartender being like, I wasn't expecting this. 1 minute.
Hold on, just a moment. Let me contemplate my answer.
His eyes roll back in his head.
Yeah, it's just.
At the mention of rodents, he looks over very sharply at the bodyguard, who kind of gives him a did I just hear that right kind of look. And then he shakes his head, and the bartender looks back to you, and he's about to speak, and the bodyguard says, word from the boss says, you can't go past, and the boss isn't here right now. And then Ren says, why don't you sit down and enjoy your dinner, and maybe we'll talk after.
All right. If you guys don't have a room, we're gonna leave soon though, because we have to set up camp. So we only have so much time.
Of course.
All right. And Kanan's just gonna walk coldly away because she's pissed. Say, we have rooms, not for you tonight. Discrimination. Ugh. We're not
Varus,
friends.
Went very well, Kanan.
Varus, give me an adjective.
What does that mean?
Like a word that describes something.
Awesome.
Awesome. Perfect.
You guys just said Varus-like.
I did say that, actually.
Oh, my bad.
Put on tears.
Kanan, so how was that? Get any stories or?
No stories. They have, I don't know, lips of stone or something. Wouldn't take that for granted. Sorry, this is really bad. But we.
Like I'm having deja vu.
Because granite is a rock. Yes.
Right. So it looks like we're gonna have to set up camp somewhere, and Kanan's gonna try to be really, really quiet and say we can head back to the Order of Xenia library and set up camp there. But I don't know if these scries have their eyes on the place or not.
The library was a little bit of a trek, though.
I was saying that's.
But it's shelter, and it's not in the middle of.
Well, are there other
plain.
places here? If they don't have rooms here.
They said they have rooms, just not for us tonight. So.
Word for word, is that what they said?
I don't remember.
The guy said he just didn't answer the question. You asked if you had rooms, and he said, "Where are you from?"
Oh.
And then he suggested that you go sit down.
Well, he did say that they had rooms.
Yeah.
I remember he said they had rooms.
Mm-hmm. And then you asked if you could get a room, and he just said, "Why don't you go sit down?" So just totally dodged the question. So I don't want to color your characterization here, but that's,
Yeah, well, she's mad, so.
Okay. It works.
Here we go.
Harriet can tell that Kanan is mad, and no, that's how Kanan gets. But, well, I mean, that's no problem. They probably don't know us, and we're
Different.
you know.
We are us.
Special.
As
Yeah,
this is
but
happening. Oh, go ahead.
I think if we do settle somewhere, it shouldn't just be out in the middle of a place where we can be kind of vulnerable. If we do need to find a place, the library might be the best. Plus, I can look for more books.
Yeah, I'm sure that. I mean,
No impact.
I'm charming as all hell. I'll go knock on somebody's door and ask them if we can stay the night for one night. I can get us a place, probably.
That is something I would love to see.
I second the guy who just said cheers to that in the background. Right after you said that. Cheers!
All right. As you're having this conversation, you notice first one, then two, then 4 or 5 more people ascending the stairs behind the bodyguard. And one of them, a human man in his mid-30s with graying stubble over a very strong and square jaw and thick brown hair, is carrying Jax on his shoulder, taking care not to bonk his head on the stairwell ceiling. As he exits, the bodyguard leans to him and whispers, covering his mouth as he does so, before gesturing toward you all.
Ah, dang it.
The human man nods and says a heartfelt goodbye to the others that exited with him, and they quickly disperse, 2 exiting at intervals from the main entrance, and while 3 others head up the stairs leading to the second floor. The human man sets Jax on the floor on his feet and kneels to look him in the eye while carefully positioning himself so that you all can't see his mouth. The 2 exchange some words, too quiet for you to hear, and Jax excitedly turns toward you all and runs over, nearly tripping on one of the table legs as he does so. He runs up and says, "My dad wants to talk to you. I told him you were heroes, and so he said he needed to be really sure. Do you want to go talk to him?"
Oh, well, do we have to prove we're heroes first?
I don't know.
We'd love to, Jax.
Okay. And then he runs back over to his dad. What would you all like to do?
Well, heroes. Quick.
Yeah.
Put on your hero face, everybody.
Well, heroes. Shall we off?
Is that how we're saying it now? Maybe.
Have you ever said that?
Maybe that's how Frederick talks.
Maybe we change our name to Varus's Heroes.
I still like Vagabonds.
How about Harriet's Heroes? Just keep the alliteration.
Yes. We're going with this.
Okay, well, regardless, let's go talk to the big man over there.
All right. So you all approach.
Yeah.
Heroically.
As you heroically approach.
Guests puffed out.
As you get close, he says, "Hi, I'm Frank of Frank and Beans. Do you like coffee?"
Oh my word, it's Frank!
I can get you some coffee on the house. And he gestures over to the
Oh.
bartender.
I told you it's
No, thank
man's
you.
name.
I'll take some, please.
I'm still holding the cup that I grabbed because all the food was animal-based.
Okay.
I'll take some.
All right.
I'll also have some.
You got it. And he gestures over towards Ren, who nods and starts making up some coffee. I hear from Jax, who he looks down and it's got his hand kind of on his head, and he's just like holding on, hugging his dad's leg. It says, I hear from Jax that you helped him get home safely. I offer my sincere gratitude.
Oh, well, it was a pleasure. You know, he's got quite the talent there.
Jax is a wonderful boy, but he likes to get a little far away from home sometimes. He turns towards Jax and says, okay, son, I think it's time for you to go and get ready for bed. Daddy's got to do some boring business stuff for a while with our new friends. I'll be sure to come and read you a bedtime story soon. And Jax puts up a little bit of like a, I don't want to go to bed kind of thing, but pretty soon relents and heads up the stairs. Frank turns back toward you and says, so I must ask, who are you and why are you here?
We're travelers.
It's not every day that 5 extremely well-armed strangers roll into Moorstop. That just so happens to coincide with the death of a scry. Not just any scry at that. The scry. So, I'm not trying to be combative, but I need to know, who are you? Why are you here?
We were actually summoned by Arcturus to come here.
You all notice that the tension in the room has risen. Everybody, all maybe 20 or so patrons that are in there, have stopped eating and drinking and have turned their attention to your conversation.
Is there somewhere a little more private we could talk?
Same thing.
No.
We mean no harm. I assure you, these are unrelated events.
We met him once, a long time ago at a party. I think he could sense he was in some kind of trouble. And he called up capable people for help. It seems we are too late.
So Arcturus is dead.
Yes.
Is that not what you just said?
Well, currently my only report is from a 5-year-old, so I appreciate you confirming what he said. He's not exactly the most reliable at all the time.
Yes, he sits with a spear through his chest.
Again, I appreciate you bringing Jax back. Really. Unfortunately, I don't know what Arcturus told you, and I'm not the one in charge. For all I know, you could have killed him and used mind control magic on Jax.
I don't even know how to do that. Do any of you?
I think it matters what we say. So what happens next?
Well, I'm confused. Are you part of these scries?
No, we are not part of the scries.
Okay. So Arky, as Jax likes to call him, was he with you guys?
Make a persuasion check. Okay. He leans back a little bit, says, believe me, I want to believe you. I really want to believe you. But I don't get to make that decision. Unfortunately, I can't just trust anyone who comes in claiming to have word from someone. As you can see, and he gestures towards the wall in the back, a number of lives are at stake here.
Assuming these are people
go ahead.
Taken by these names, are there people that have been taken?
Yes. Everyone a name from the 25 years that this has been happening. Once every 3 weeks. 1,403 names.
This has been going on since the revolution from the Clendathian Empire?
Yes.
Did they leave anything behind when they disappeared?
They're taken and dragged through the city into the center of Haversteep and hauled up onto a stage. And then Tadriel drives a blade through their chest and removes their heart. Once the selection is made, a shock of white appears in their hair, brighter in color than your friend here. And some try to run, some try to hide. They are always found. They are always brought back. It always ends the same way.
I suppose you wouldn't know the answer as to why.
Make a persuasion check.
Where is my character sheet? Where is persuasion?
20. Kind of squints at you and says, I may. But again, this isn't my decision to make. These are customs, they're well documented. You can find them in nearly any history book written in the last 20 years. The scries say it's the weeding. Filters out those who are unfit for society or those who would challenge and destroy everything that they've built.
Why are you telling us all of this?
Look, I can't exactly have you hanging around here without knowing where you stand. You all seem sincere enough. And he puts his hand up like that, and everyone begins to go back to their drinks and eating, and the music starts playing again. You feel the tension
Put their
kind of
daggers
relax.
down.
Yeah, you feel the tension kind of relax. How about this? There's a little errand Cam is running for me tonight, and he gestures with his head towards the bodyguard. Very simple. Go to the meeting point, pick up the letter, bring it back. It should be pretty easy. Nothing Cam can't handle on his own, but just in case, I'd feel better sending someone to back him up. And this way, you can prove that you're not working for the scry. What do you say?
Sounds better to me.
Gladly.
Works for us.
You can leave your packs here if you'd like, your heavy bags. I'll even hold a few rooms for you.
That would be great.
I apologize for the
Hey,
tension, but we have to be certain. You don't know what it's like.
Do you mind it?
I certainly have a feeling, and it's understandable. Can never be too careful.
Well, I guess we'll find out once we prove to you we're not working for them, but your relationships with these scribes seem to be confusing. You seem to be worried about one.
I can't say more. I have to wait for our commander to return. She's in Haversteep.
Very well.
Cam will come and get you when he's ready. It should be no more than 30 or 40 minutes.
Wait here.
Roger, Roger.
Thank you for your patience. I need to go put my son to bed.
Roger.
And he goes upstairs. I'll be right back. You guys can talk.
That's putting his son
Matt's gonna go put his son to bed.
Wait a minute! put my son to bed. I'm melting.
I feel so much
into
better
my
being in
seed.
Stewin. The house I was in was not a good environment. I'm much happier to be back. While we're sitting and waiting at the table, Harriet, give me an emotion.
Are you doing a Mad Lib? What is
I hate it. Naira and her
emotion.
damn Mad Libs. A what?
An emotion.
Excitement.
Excite. Zarius, give me a word that describes something.
Red.
Kanan, give me a name of an animal.
Why?
Just give me a name of an animal.
I don't feel like it.
Harriet, give me the name of an animal.
Donkey?
Yeah.
Baris, give me the name of a place.
Sila Sarin.
I don't know how to spell that.
Hi.
YLAASARI.
Hi.
It's 2 words.
Esielona.
Wrong campaign.
Oh, my bad.
Zarius, give me a profession.
Vagabond.
Vagabond.
I'm gonna be honest. I think maybe while we're here, until our friend in the other place gets things figured out, I do think that maybe Harriet's Heroes is a good to go by.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, I think we should be just as suspicious of them as they are of us.
I think rebranding is a good idea, though, especially after everything that's happened so far.
That's not specifically this town. It's partially this town, but also because of what we did.
Willing to take your name off it?
If it improves our lives, yeah.
That is
If it gets
growth.
bad enough, we'll switch it in for his last name.
Polymnian's Hero.
Polymnian's Heroes.
No.
That's not bad.
I like that. But I also like Harriet having a moment.
Yeah,
Yes.
if we want to...
Harriet's Heroes.
I don't
You know,
care. I would vote for Harriet's Heroes because...
I don't think I get to vote.
I get to
Harriet, give me a number.
Oh, 5.
Naira, what are you doing?
Well,
Worried for you, Naira.
I found these papers in the library as I was walking right around where the kid was sitting. And it says at the top they're called Crazy Language.
No, you didn't.
And they ask for all these things, and it apparently makes a story.
No, you
Sound like
didn't.
my school teacher.
No,
asking me for all
you
these things.
didn't.
That's why I had Matt check Discord. Because I was like, can I find Mad Libs in the library?
Yeah, she really did.
Give me a noun, Zarius. A word for a thing.
You're making me try to remember
I
grammar
have been
from
taught basic common.
years ago.
Okay, last word, and then we'll jump back in.
Okay. Well, that was all the words.
Okay.
So
Whoa!
Perfect.
I will read it to you all tonight.
All right.
It's not going to be some magic spell or
Okay, so about this time, maybe 30, 45 minutes later, Cam approaches, and he's a fairly sizable human guy. I mean, he's a big, broad-chested, big guy. He's pretty yoked. He just walks up to the table, and you can see he's equipped with a really light loadout. Like he's got a couple of weapons on him, maybe a dagger and a big sword on his back. But he's not like he's carrying, a day pack or anything like that. He just basically has what he's got wearing as far as clothing goes. He says, "Ready to go?"
Of course. Yeah.
I think so.
Onward.
All right. So you set out under Cam's lead across the... I think this is the right one. Yeah, there we go. Got to change all my moods and everything. Okay, so you head out under Cam's lead across the soggy plains. Even though you can't see it, you know that the sun has set. It's been several hours, and also the temperature has dropped quickly, and it is very dark out. For all of you now with dark vision, you all have dark vision now. You can still make out the features of the terrain, puddles and mounds of grass, and so on. The grayscale color of your vision is strangely reminiscent of the town you just left, as well as the sky overhead, and the somewhat oppressive feeling that you've had for most of the time that you've been here has set in once more. Fortunately,
Nice.
The rain has stopped, and you're only dealing with the cold, wet grass underfoot. Cam walks briskly and confidently, moving quickly across the plains, nearly silently, which is surprising for a man of his size. As you're walking, Cam just asks, just generally, so did Frank tell you what we're doing out here?
Meeting at a place and getting a message.
Really?
It, honestly.
I'm guessing it wasn't real, but so
What are we doing?
Yeah, Frank is a
What are
chronic
we doing?
underseller. When the arrows and magic spells start flying, don't stab me in the back, is all I ask.
Sorry,
Is that what we're expecting?
Is that? Should we be like swords out? Like what's
Swords out,
What's-
suns out, guns out.
knights out, swords out? Type of thing? Like,
Anyway, what are your skills in combat?
Harriet will take out her pistol and just do the and that's it.
He's like visibly impressed, like, oh, okay.
We've seen a few squabbles.
So you good with magic? Do you sling arrows or wield the blade? What tactical advantages might we have? How do you
Little
array
bit of
yourselves?
little healing, little magic, little sword.
I'm very fast, and I hit things a lot.
All right.
I eat losers for breakfast.
I eat losers.
Like,
for
I
breakfast, is that what you
can-
said?
Run circles around you in seconds. And Kaden will use her feline agility and run ahead like 200 feet.
Just- okay.
Just-
And then she'll wait until you guys get there. And she'll be like, see, I'm fast.
Quite, yes. Very fast.
I guess tactical. I prefer range.
Okay.
Some of these other folks are much more up in their business.
I can
Gesture
do
at Kanan, whatever she's doing. Going.
Bars, heal me.
Just
anything.
Chronic undersellers. Ooh.
Shadow boxing. Just
well. It's
So
good
what
to-
about you?
Good to know. I use a big sword,
Respect.
and I have a shield too sometimes, but pretty much stick with the big sword. And I try not to die. That's my real strength is trying to not die.
I
Okay.
think we all have that in common, except maybe Varus.
Yeah.
He struggles with that, but we're working on it.
He's
no,
died
it's
a couple
It's
times.
a tactical advantage. If I'm throwing all of myself out there while all the enemies are trying not to die, I'm clearly superior. Simple
Until
enough.
Clearly.
you die,
Well,
and
that
then I have
makes-
to bring you back.
Makes some kind of sense, but not common sense. So
I
Probably
like
elven
you, Kat.
sense.
with that information, what are we walking to so we can use these tactical skills to our advantage?
But like we ever have an actual
When?
battle. Like
We're pretending.
We're pretending we plan things.
It is picking up a letter, and also there are people guarding it. So
Okay.
we
Oh,
may
picking
have
up a letter,
to
people.
kill all of them.
Who are we
May?
picking up a letter from?
If we're gonna kill one, we have to kill them all. So
Mhm.
we don't
So
have to
one
kill them
all
all.
deal.
But it's either if you're gonna, you
Yes,
either kill
it's-
no one or you kill
Buy
all of them.
one, get all. Okay.
So-
All or nothing,
I have a
really.
question. Are
Yes.
we breaking into someone's place?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
Have you ever been traveling across the plains and you settle in after a long day of walking and you're like, okay, we're going to set up camp and no, we probably don't need to set watches. Nobody's going to come out here. And then you get attacked by some roving assholes.
Yes.
We're the roving
so
assholes.
little reversal moment.
Should we cast?
No, I died the first time.
That is how you died.
We'll hopefully kill them this time.
We're the bandits.
You can be the one who kills them.
Yeah. Wait,
it's like payback.
Turn those tables,
Let's say, hypothetically, a little bird were to swoop in and try and grab the letter. Would this bird or the surrounding people still need to fight?
As long as they don't catch the bird.
Cool.
If you can get away with the goal is the letter. So if we don't have to kill everyone, we don't have to kill everyone. If we have to kill anyone, we have to kill everyone. Because if any one of them makes it back,
can become a bird.
If anyone makes it back, or word of this gets out, we're all heads on pikes. So.
Oh, so we should probably kill everyone anyways, even if we do take the letter, so then they don't tell anyone they lost the letter?
As long as they don't know it was us.
Oh.
I think we probably
don't.
Hey, we could make it a callback.
Maybe you blend in, but we've already been called out as looking suspicious here.
Not by these people. They don't know you.
How far?
Unless you're like champions of Renovash or something.
Oh no.
No,
that would be ridiculous.
We're Harriet's heroes. We couldn't be.
Okay, well, as long as
Where's
that.
I haven't heard of Renovash. I'm from Monster.
You guys.
Unless your hero's a Renovash, she pulls out his sword.
Draws it on us.
Can I make an insight check on
Let's
that?
say.
Sure, yeah.
Was that a meta joke?
Was that Matt joking, or was that?
Or is that him like checking for reactions? Like,
no, he's just like, how ridiculous would it be that the champions of Renovash are hanging out in Warstop?
It was just a meta joke. That's good.
Yeah.
When pigs fly.
How far away are we? Would you say?
Well, I don't know if you've been watching, but every now and then I see these footprints, and I track them. So once we get close, I'll know a little more for certain. But so far, it's just heading in the general direction where we got a tip of where they're going to be.
Gotcha.
I can fly ahead, and I think it'll be easier for me to fly ahead if they don't also see you while on the horizon.
Well, they won't see me. I'm sneaky.
Oh.
Right, you are. I believe you.
Pretty dark by now, so.
Stars.
Real dark.
What?
Should we make it a callback to the last time we got attacked in the middle of the night? Cast silence first.
Oh.
I think that'd be smart.
I mean,
That sounds great.
And I can literally.
Well, it actually sounds like nothing.
So if
Yeah, it's just kind of absence of sound. It's the whole thing.
if there's no sound and you can't see me at all, they wouldn't even know anything happened. That was just gone.
Well, I mean, if they can hear still and they hear that there's no sound, they're going to think something's up.
That's true.
These aren't.
Not if they're all asleep.
Are they going
like
to be
I should be
asleep?
candid
Or are they going
here.
to be like?
These are not just regular dudes.
Oh.
Hey, so
They're mostly
we're going,
regular,
okay.
but
Do we know how many dudes
Kind of
there are?
irregular.
I might know when I can see more footprints.
So you might know when you can see them and just.
Yeah, I just look at where their feet are, and I count the feet. That's how many.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Cool. I
Okay.
love
And
this
then
guy.
divide by 2. And
All the one-legged people in this party, like, oh, darn it, we got him.
They send a whole troop of one-legged people just to throw the numbers on.
Yeah, there's only
They're
4
like,
people.
oh, they
Yeah.
got me again. Can't keep getting away with this.
It's like 8 highly trained people on peg legs.
They're freaking pogo sticking you through
Yeah.
the forest.
Just
Like, no
unicycling.
one's gonna get us now.
That's why it's so hard to track their footprints, because they're just circles.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Better yet, it's a 3-legged race, but like with 2 legs because they're missing. They just tied their torsos together.
All right. Well, you continue on having conversation, kind of light conversation like this for the better part of 2 hours. It's now pretty late. I mean, it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. You finally see a rough road begin to appear at the edges of your vision. I gotta change the music. Cam stops and checks some tracks that are left in the road, which 2 of you are welcome to do the same, if you would like to. Survival checks. Yeah, 2 survival checks.
I'll do that.
Survival.
1, maybe.
I was gonna.
People are doing it.
One.
Go for it.
Cool. Survival.
All right, 18 and 19 from Kanan and Ira. Great. So yeah, Cam kneels down or gets, he crouches down and starts to like trace with his finger on the footprints, and they're still soft. Like, this road is mud. Everywhere is mud. It's been raining for 2.5 weeks. Everything is muddy. But he goes down and he tracks at different sizes, and you see him kind of do all the tracker stuff, taste the footprint and all that, whatever, just like in the movies. With those rolls, you get down there with him, and as he's kind of pointing stuff out to help you out, you can get the feeling. And you both feel there's probably about 4 or 5 people. You can't be 100% sure, because this isn't what you do professionally, but maybe 4 or 5 people, give or take. Cam adjusts his posture and holds his fingers across his lips before saying in a whisper, which I'm not going to do because I want you all to actually be able to hear me, "They must have camped in the forest nearby for the night. You smell the fire?" You 2 do not smell the fire. If we're careful, we might get the jump on them. We're looking for the messenger. He should be in mostly white, carrying a satchel of scrolls and letters. That's the prize.
I will wild shape into an owl.
Okay.
And take to the air about 15 feet above them, like the party, and like follow along, but just in the air.
Okay. Let me look up owls real quick.
Owl bear.
Owl. I came up with bowl. Bowl of water commanding.
Bowl. Yep, she's a bowl. She just
Wild-shaped bowl.
So yeah, you've got a plus 3 to perception and a 120-foot dark vision.
Plus 3 to my perception?
No. Plus 3 to the owl. The owl gets a plus 3 to perception. So.
Okay. So that's a d20 plus 3. Okay.
Yeah, and then you have some stats I'll keep up. You have flyby, so you don't provoke opportunity attacks when you fly out of an enemy's reach. And you have advantage on perception checks that rely on hearing or sight.
Cool.
So good to know. You get a plus 3 to attack also. So that'll be like if you want to try to swoop in and grab something, it's a plus 3.
Cool.
You have 1 hit point, by the way, and an 11 AC. So
good thing Anira doesn't have 1 hit point.
okay. So
Oh, I'm
go ahead.
guessing that then.
Say that again. Sorry.
I'm sorry. That was
Are we
really
getting
good.
ready then? Are we preparing? Is this like the moment?
Yeah,
This is like right now. Yeah.
yeah, if Anira, you could give us some sign, like, I don't know, maybe scream if things go wrong.
Yeah.
That as a
Vars. And Xeris is gonna cast Death Ward on Vars. No dying today.
Are we not just going in and killing them?
No, we are, but just in case.
Could we make it all quiet?
What are we doing?
you're not there yet, so I'm just pulling up my stuff here. So
Well, the quiet is just like a little radius. It's not. I can't like make it around us. It's a one-time thing.
Okay, so
It's a sneak up on them,
grabs-
cast it.
Anira grabs the letter. You
Assassin.
make it quiet, and if Anira's caught, we kill them all.
Sure.
Or if any of them see us.
Right.
I'm almost more tempted to say we just go in and kill them.
Just kill them. Honestly.
There's a whole.
I could do that. Just some straight up killing. I could go.
Yeah,
for
just
that.
like honestly, just some
No.
straight murder.
Oh, right. I love my heroes.
It's this onto you, Owl. Moda? Yeah? I think the owl wants to kill him. Okay. It was a joke.
And she's like landed on your head.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. Just making sure I got
Zit.
everything. Oh, one more thing.
The forest is on fire.
Yes, the forest is lit on fire from when you all were in the swamp last time.
No, it's just me starting another forest fire.
Okay.
Now it's coming from two sides.
As you approach, Cam says, "Be careful. This isn't their best, but if they catch you off guard, they could kill you in an instant."
Not me. I'm wanted against them.
You continue on, and notice the trees beginning to dot your vision on either side of the path. The clusters of trees grow more intense, and you spot a number of large mounds of grass, with some stumps protruding through and others totally overgrown and sunken back down into the earth. These mounds all appear to be just old tree stumps. Most of the trees are fairly normal-sized for what you'd expect, but some are astonishingly huge, reaching up out of your sight near the low-hanging clouds overhead. The haunting cries of woodland birds and creatures echo through the space, giving an eerie feeling to it. Cam continues on, nearly silently ahead on the path. If you all are progressing sneakily, everyone makes stealth checks.
I would like to supplement sneaking by casting fly on myself and just hovering above the ground so I'm not stepping.
Okay, yeah. I'll give you like a +2 for that.
Sure.
And does stealth get anything, Owl?
Let me check.
Harriet!
I told you I'm not
You
sneaky.
get a +3 to stealth for owls.
Cool, so it's still my base roll anyway. Cool.
It's like a good modifier and everything, but just the dice have decided that Zarius is not a
You
sneaky
really
dude.
never get it.
Like, I never do.
I usually am there with you, but Harriet really had
stealth
her
and
moment.
dex checks. Zarius, like, even though he has good dexterity, the dice are like, no.
We really
You're
haven't
gonna-
found
You're gonna fall off the
balance
mountain.
yet.
That's what you're gonna do.
Every time we're near a mountain, you just fall.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
Like
like,
with the dragon.
Zarius just is an avalanche.
Yeah.
Apollodex really doesn't like mountains.
Not everyone can be an athlete.
You see, their god is a god of the mountains. So we're gonna fight them in the plains. #kings.
Let's go.
Sorry, I'm referencing the Bible.
I got it, and there was still a lot to unpack there.
Okay.
Yes, religion.
You all
I love
are
the
on
hashtag
the
things from
map
the Bible.
now. So,
Indeed.
I know, and Ira, you are in owl form. So
Blind as an arrow.
just pretend that you're an owl there. So before you begin progressing, you are on this path here. However you would want to arrange yourselves, feel free to arrange yourselves along the path. If you would like Cam to go first, he can go first. He's kind of like, that's why he was asking about your skill sets earlier. He kind of gestures towards you, Kanan, to go in front of him because you're fast.
Where is he? It's so hard to
It's hard to
left.
see the folks. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's,
I see you guys
it's
now.
dark. You have
Yeah, it
nocturnal
is.
stuff. I said nocturnal vision.
Ooh.
So I'm just trying out
Okay,
the
well,
new effects
Harriet
on
bumps
Roll20.
into Zarius apparently, and then, which is just me moving the token around.
And Ira is like 20 feet in the air, flying. As a hoot hoot.
Is that better, Harriet?
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a little better. Thank you.
Okay, let me change air buddies. Because they set up this new night vision effect called Nocturnal, so I'm trying it out to see if it's any good. Oh, and Varus just
It's
has
cool.
no vision.
It's just difficult to see the tokens. On
Yeah,
where-
I can't see the tokens, really.
I just see blue.
If you zoom in a little more, it helps. If you make your
Mine's a lot better, Matt. With the kind of
yeah, the greenish
Oh.
gray,
Color.
Yeah, that's good.
definitely a lot better.
There it is, yeah.
Okay. It was set to blue because before it had the blue automatically set if you selected dark vision in their vision settings. So it would just do the bluish whatever, I guess. I don't know why, but so I figured the blue would be the same on this, and it just isn't. So okay, so yeah, Cam is gonna wait for Kanan to take point as soon as I can find his token. There he is.
Where's Darius go? Okay.
I was on top of him.
Oh,
all right,
well,
so,
all right.
However you would like to approach, I see your stealth roll. Zarius is not stealthy. Varus is doing okay, so 12. But the rest of you, feel free to move up slowly. And Anira, you want to do a pass by, is that right? Just kind of circle the area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just get a gauge for like where they are and what they're doing.
All right.
Everyone else is like sneakily hiding behind trees.
Yeah,
Just in the middle
make
of
a
the field.
perception check. So you have advantage and a +3. So just roll 2 d20s. So, okay, 18,
that's 21.
21, okay. So you circle and you do catch the light of a fire down towards the lower right portion of the map. It's not like in the bottom right corner, but you do kind of, I can put your token to where you can actually see this. This map, it'd be big. So there you can see down in the lower right portion a chunk of the fire there.
Okay.
What you see here, give me a sec here to find this. So as you give this kind of pass by, you see 3 people laid out about a smoldering fire. Let me put them on the map for you.
Okay.
The fire is set on top of this large stump. They just dug out a little bit so it actually burned down. They're just using the actual stump to burn out. The 3 of them appeared to be sleeping. You see a bunch of other packs and stuff too. You don't see any other people. I misspoke. One of the people is laying down sleeping. Another 2 of them are sitting up. One of them is kind of prodding the fire. Just like stoking it and keeping things going. The other one is sitting with his arm leaning against a large satchel. He's resting one arm on while he's just staring into the fire. As your owl form flits by, he makes eye contact with you and just watches you as you go by.
Cool. I will stop on a tree just so I don't look suspicious, hoot a couple times, and then take off again.
Make a persuasion check.
That's an owl. Ooh.
Yeah, the owl has...
That owl doesn't seem
nothing.
owl-like.
Actually, the owl has a -2 to charisma, so...
Hoot!
Yeah.
Hoot!
It's about how it sounds. And you're flying back to the party?
I'll do kind of a round, like not like straight back, but like try and mislead them to think I'm going one way,
Okay. So eventually,
Like I'll head like down this. Oh,
Okay.
You're moving.
No, you're good.
Like I'll head
Whichever
like
way you want.
down like this, and then kind of around
Okay.
and back.
All right, got it. Making
Wherever
your
the
way.
rest of the party is.
They're back here.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so you are back.
I'll kind of land on Zarius and go.
Yeah, I still don't speak owl. Three? One is high.
What is hot?
No. High. H-I-G-H.
Hi.
High.
One of them is Stone Doctor fucking and
One is hot.
I definitely heard one of them is hot.
I'm the hot one.
She'll kind of flap wings and go, and then close her eyes and go.
I don't speak owl, but none of that seemed to be don't move forward, or I have the letter.
Yeah, not so many letter.
Sorry.
Just kind of sad, to be honest.
I'm gonna hop to the floor, because I don't want to drop my form yet, just in case. Like the dirt and like... fuck, how do I do this?
Cam has already moved past. He's like moving up towards these trees and is taking cover. These are large stumps, by the way, or not stumps. These are just large, big trees.
Oh God!
You can't move. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Big old trees.
Just put Zarius in the middle of a tree.
And Ira, you keep an owl form, or are you switching to another? You switching back to an Ira?
I'll stay an owl just for a little bit.
Okay.
So I can just take one hit point.
Body slam them.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, they're already on to me. So, like, what'll it hurt?
Fly up, wild shape into a bear, and then fall on top of them.
Anthracene, baby! Yeah, she's just ambiently an owl in the back.
Okay. So.
Also, technically, I was making pigeon sounds, but it's fine.
Would you all like to continue moving forward?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see one thing real quick. Okay.
So Matt, I don't know if my vision is supposed to extend that far, but I can see through people down here now.
Yeah, there's light coming off of the fire.
Oh, that's what it is.
So you can see light in the distance, yeah.
I was going to say, it wasn't, and now I can.
Yeah. So you can just see the light coming off. So you make note of that, yeah.
Okay. Owl. Ooh.
So you all have rolled pretty well on stealth. I'll say you can get yourselves positioned fairly well, at least within where you can all see this fire and everything happening. So if you would like to move yourselves a little closer, just to where you can see, it's probably about as close as you'd be able to get without them overtly seeing you. So if you want to position yourselves within, this kind of space, or if you just want to rush in.
I'm on a tree. I'm on this tree right here.
Okay.
Like 20 feet.
All right, and Cam is going to rush down this way and stay over here behind this tree. He leans out and looks towards you, Kanan, and you hear in your mind, he says, "On your go."
Zarius will get ready to cast silence, just like in the middle.
Okay.
Kanan has a response to that, right?
Yep.
She'll just say, go. And she'll dash in. I was just about to measure some stuff.
Sure, yeah, take your time. Also, everyone roll initiative, just so we can get it out of the way.
Ooh.
Hey, look at you. It's a good initiative roll. George.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Dex check. Wow.
Hey, initiative we're not.
What do you know?
It saves and stealth. He just doesn't do. He's ready for a fight. He wants to be quiet? Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. You know what that means? He's loud. He's clumsy.
Oh, God.
Alrighty, so am I good to just rush in?
1 sec, real quick.
Like I'm so
Alrighty.
not serious, too.
Zoom. Ooh.
Okay. one more second. I'm sorry.
No worries.
No problem.
Rolling initiative for the 16 surprise baddies surrounding the woods.
You only saw 3 of them, but actually, remember earlier when I said there was 5? They all have 1 leg, so it's 10. And a couple of them are riding piggyback, so actually there's 15.
That's the real trick. It's the piggyback approach.
They're all stacked on top of each other, walking through the woods.
They'll never find us this way.
These footprints are so heavy. Must be a very large man.
12 kobolds
No,
in a trench coat.
It's 12 kobolds in a trench coat.
Sorry,
No, that's what
I'm
it
trying
is.
to read this thing real quick.
Good.
It's like
Thinking
4
it's
normal people.
power word kill
and
spell.
one
So I
set.
gotta make sure it's.
Yeah. 4 normal people
I'll be right back.
You're good.
in a trench coat, ready to kill us all. The action economy is in shambles.
They get like 30
Just-
attacks a turn.
Not telling me the thing.
The action economy.
I
No.
guess. Oh wow.
So
Just
horrible.
kill you.
Okay.
Oh, that's not good. That's not good. That's not what I wanted to
They
hear,
all
Matt.
have 7 uses of 1 power word kill per long rest.
That's really what it
Oh
is.
boy.
I didn't say that right. They all have 7 uses of power word kill per long rest. Wow. I'm tired.
Real
For
quick,
short,
did I?
short rest. They leveled up.
Random curiosity, did I recognize any of them?
No.
Cool. Great.
One of them was your dad.
It's
I know!
Dad. All y'all's dads on a
Zarius'
dad
dad.
retreat out in the woods.
All of our dads.
Zarius wouldn't even know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
our dads.
All of our dads have formed their own adventuring party, and they're actually just like a mail delivery service.
Kiki's delivery service, but
Oi.
D&D.
Anyone have a dad with a D name?
Darius.
Darius's dads.
Sorry, last
Various fathers?
Ooh.
Darius- no, I do
Darius'
like-
dad's name doesn't work into that.
I like
Starts with an
Darius's
A.
daddies, though. Darius's daddies.
All right. So I think once Kanan comes back, we'll be good. And then
Harriet's is like
Kanan not roll initiative.
Alex's adventurers.
Oh, 10 points.
I
Whatever
don't
name
like
it
how
is.
close you were to guessing her dad's name.
Oh, I just went with the first A name that I thought of. Is it Alexander?
No.
The Great?
Alexander the Great's dad. Darn it, you unlocked my secret
I
backstory.
knew it!
Conquered
I always
all
Damn it.
knew that Harriet was a Macedonian.
Okay. Kanan,
I
are you
knew
back and ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
the real
All
brains.
right.
Harriet was a
Harriet.
Macedonian.
So Kanan, you get ready and you're ready to sprint in, right?
Yes. Yes. Kanan just replies, "Go," as she's dashing in right here to hit this guy with her
Well, 1 second.
dagger.
Morning.
You sprint inward, and as you're running, you feel a frigid chill hit you. All of you do.
Oh no.
And you see now very clearly a guy standing there, finger pointed outward towards you. A cone of frost erupts from his finger. Seems your owl was not quite as convincing as you would have hoped. So everyone make a Constitution saving throw.
Hoot.
Oh. Hoot.
You are no longer an owl.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't think I was.
Okay. I think
Darius
that's
and I
everybody,
freeze
right?
to death.
Sarah's about to be in a lot of pain.
Yeah. Okay. So, half as much on a successful one. Okay. So, Varus, Kanan, and Harriet, you all succeed, and you take half damage. Anira and Zarius, you take 35 points of cold damage.
Great.
As it just flash freezes the ground in front of you. So this whole area, I would say, let me just freehand it here with, let's do a light blue. So I would say this whole area is now difficult terrain. Oh, you're still flying, yeah. Okay, good. Are you still flying?
Yeah.
The 11 on the
I
con.
took 17.
Oh, okay,
so-
half damage. Yeah, okay, got it. Okay, so now, Kanan, you are right here. So I would say you can make your attack on either one of these people if you want to. You did just get, blasted with a cone of cold, so up to you.
Yeah. She was aiming for this guy, so she's just gonna go for him.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack rolls.
Your dagger. And I'm guessing it's not an advantage. We didn't all sneak in.
No, they knew that you came through. They caught the owl.
Bloop.
27, just a 26. That's all. Yeah, both of those hit for sure. 16 on the first one and 14 on the second. Dang.
I want to spend a key point on the second one to stunning strike him.
Okay. This is this guy. What's your key save?
16.
16. Okay. Wait,
Slew.
hold on. Yeah, he's stunned.
Heck yeah. Let me
So-
just double check this.
That's Canon stunning strike hit.
Yeah.
It sounded like a sword.
And then I'm going to spend one more key point to flurry of blows.
Okay, so your attacks are at
Dang it.
advantage.
Yes.
Fifteen does not
Cannon
hit.
punches so hard that it sounds like a sword. Might as well be a
12 does
sword.
not hit. Unfortunately.
All right.
With that said, we'll drop
I'm
into.
going to back up.
Oh, you're gonna back off
as
because you
well.
get your ability, yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
All right.
Like
just behind that
Scoob.
bush. We're good.
Big old tree, yeah. Okay, so with that, the surprise round, since you got a surprise and they got a surprise, is over. Yeah, next up is old Zarius.
Yeah, little old Zarius got a little cold, so he's gonna cast centered on the fire. He's gonna cast Flame Strike,
Okay.
which is a 5th level spell, 10-foot radius, 40-foot high. Column of fire erupts from their little campfire,
That gets everybody.
and so they take it's all right. 22 damage with a dex save of DC 17 for half as much.
Okay. Let me roll a bunch of
Yeah,
saves
the
here.
4 ones.
Yikes.
Great 5th level spell.
Oh, this guy's done. The guy that Kanan stunning struck is just engulfed in flames and burned to a crisp. His armor just clattering to the ground and ashes next to him, where he once stood.
Zarius is cold. He's got to warm up.
That'll do it.
They're
Only
not
you
rolling
can
great.
prevent forest fires.
Only you can start forest fire.
That's kind of our unofficial motto.
Okay. So this guy takes.
Either 22 or 11.
Okay. Okay. That's
4
good.
ones.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
So sad.
Yeah, that's too bad. But
Oh well.
oh well, indeed. Okay.
I
Anything else
was
you'd
only
like to
gonna
do?
get these two. Yeah, he's gonna move 30 feet. Kind of like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. get out of range of everyone else in case another cold blast comes his way.
All right, sounds good. And from that perspective, Zarius, you can now see someone here in this tree. Nobody else can see this person.
Which tree? I'm sorry.
Right here.
Yep. Still don't see it, but that's fine.
I didn't reveal the person. I'm just showing the spot.
Okay, sure.
All right. Next up is Baris.
Boris is flying and he shoots off towards these fellas. Just passing over Kanan and coming down right in front of these two fellas. And he's just gonna take 2 swings at this guy right here with the hot strike. And
Pew. All right. I'm sorry. You're attacking the guy who shot the cone of cold, right?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, that's one.
22 hits for sure and 26 hits. Nice. Dealing a solid amount of damage. Okay, yeah, you make those 2 stabs in. Poke. Anything else you'd like to do?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Next up is this guy here, who is just gonna run, having been torched, and give a couple of. He's gonna try to run around Varus here, and he's gonna slip on the ice.
Take a little tumble.
He's not, just barely. But he's gonna take a couple of swings at advantage against Varus there.
Yeah.
Mr. Lemon.
That's not my name.
Okay, so the first one is a 21, second one is a 20.
Yeah, both of those hit.
Okay, you take 5 points of bludgeoning damage from the first one, and 6 points from the second one. Really walloping on you there.
Still flying.
Next up is this guy who is going to rush in just to get on the other side of Varus as well, and go ahead and take a couple of swing attacks. It's a 19.
19 misses.
Ooh, and a 22.
22 does hit.
Okay, so you take 12 points of slashing damage.
Yikes. I'll use my reaction to parry and make that less.
Okay.
So I take 6.
Okay. Next up, the hidden enemy that only Zarius has seen fires off an arrow at Zarius.
Oh, there she
I
is.
think actually 2 arrows.
Oh, come on.
Don't worry, that's a nat 1, and the second one is an 18.
I think that probably is. But that one splits the other arrow in half. Okay. That'll hit.
You take 8 points of piercing damage.
Ouchie.
And that's it. Next up is Harriet.
That's me. Let me get to the right tab. All right. I'm gonna move a little bit so I can actually see people. Then the blue is the frosty bits, right?
Yeah, it's where it's
The
difficult
frosty
terrain.
bits. Question: did the fire melt the one under Varus?
It would have.
And oh boy. Which of these lovely folks was the one who cast the cold? Okay. That would have been something I
Yeah,
had seen.
it's that one there. Yep.
Okay, that's the one I can't see behind the tree.
A whole mess of people right there.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess I'll
Turtle in
just.
there? What the heck is that guy? I'm sorry.
Well, Harriet's just gonna choose this one, I guess.
Okay, yeah. He's the one sitting. He's got he was sitting. He's got a satchel underneath him.
Okay, she's gonna pull out her rifle, her gun, not rifle,
It's just
pistol,
paladin.
Yeah.
and take a shot. She's going to use a grip point to get advantage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we don't have a whole lot of time. Let's see. Ba-bum-bum.
Ouch.
Ooh.
Double 12s. How's that even possible?
That is nasty.
Well, that is his AC, so...
Hey!
You fire the shot, and just this kind of deafening echo. Zarius, you feel your ears ringing.
No!
Yeah, you land a
Not
solid
right
shot,
there.
and it hits right into the upper part of his shoulder, and you see him turn and look at you, very just directly. Is there anything else you want to do for your turn?
I'd like to wink back at him
Okay.
and I'm just holding out my pistol still, and that's it for me. I've moved and everything. So.
Okay. As this happens, you see the man with the satchel shift and shimmer before his body transforms and grows. Huge muscular arms and legs take the place of previously thin ones, and an enormous and chiseled body stands in place where the messenger once stood. Massive and feathery wings stretch out from his back, and his eyes have shifted from a normal human's to appear as though they are glowing with lightning-like energy. A large and golden-colored mace has appeared in his hand.
Huh?
What? I'm sorry, what?
Oh boy.
He's become a birdman with a big... Oh. Oh no.
Me when God.
That pissed off a god.
If this was Tadriel, you would be so done.
We would already be
We
dead.
wouldn't be here anymore.
You're telling me Tadriel's just a random messenger in the woods?
It's Hermes. Duh.
Okay, and that's it for Harriet's
Not
turn.
shooting the messenger. Why?
Not shoot.
Guys, why have no brain
Haven't you been
cells?
told?
Okay, next up is this caster guy, who, yeah, what is he gonna do? I think he's gonna, yeah. You see him pull back in the chaos of everything, and grab this small bead out from his satchel and kind of press it together and throw it towards Anira and Harriet. Both of you make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Okay.
All right, both of you save. Great job.
Yes.
You take 15 points of fire damage instead of 30. So that's great news. As this fireball just erupts, exploding outward and melting the rest of this ice here, we'll say, just because I don't like having the drawing on there. As the flames just roar out for a moment, searing some of the grass and evaporating the water into steam. And then he's going to try to run away. So you can take an opportunity attack if you would like, Varus.
My reaction to parry, so no.
Oh, you can't. So he's just going to run over here.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is this guy is dead, so he doesn't get a turn anymore. Next up is Cam, because I forgot him last time.
So sneaky, we didn't even notice he was there.
He's going to run. I can't make it, so he's going to stay over here. That's all he's going to do, because that's all he can do. He dashed. Next up is Anira. What would you like to do?
Yee. 5, 10. Are these all trees, and are they all, like, within, like, 10 feet of trees in this area?
Those are all
so?
trees, yeah. I mean, they're big. They're like 50-foot tall trees.
But, like, are people, like, can I tell people... I'm going to use Wrath of Nature in a 60-foot square.
Okay.
Right here. Around this. And I'm going to be
Animated.
the trees.
Okay.
It's trees, and so at the start of each of my turns, each enemy within 10 feet of any tree in that cube must succeed on a dex save throw or take 46 slashing damage from whipping branches.
Cool. Okay, great. 10 feet. Yeah, and the cube. Yeah, so that's everything. I mean, 60-foot cube is huge.
Yeah. So anyone within 10 feet of trees at the start of my turns.
Cool. All right.
I'm
We'll
gonna-
block off an area real quick with the green. So what is that? 60 feet is like that.
Bonus action, health potion. That's not terrible. Yeah, more like if possible, like down here, like 60 feet with the center of it around the campfire, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
From the start of my turns, they take some damage. And I am concentrating.
All
So
right.
I'll add the thing. If I remember how to add the thing. There we go. I'm concentrating.
Okay.
And I moved what? How many feet? Probably like
10 feet
15 or
so far.
something.
Yeah, 10 or 15.
Cool. Let's say 15, 20, 25, 30,
Okay.
35. And that's my turn.
All right. Next up is Kanan.
Yes.
What would you like to do?
Kanan's gonna run. This is the guy, right?
That's the guy who was casting the Cone of Cold, yeah.
He's the one that just ran away.
Yeah.
Okay. Kanan's gonna run over there and stab him a couple of times with the dagger.
Okay, yeah. 23 for sure hits. That's a great amount of damage.
She's gonna spend a key point on that one to stunning strike.
Stunning strike, okay. Good choice. 'Cause
You
he's a
died.
little weakling. Yeah, he rolled a 10, so.
Heck yeah, okay, I'm gonna stab him again.
21, yep.
I'm gonna spend
Really
one
just
more key
wailing on
point for unarmed strikes.
Okay.
Why?
11
I
hits.
Can't hit it. What?
Told you, he's a little weak guy. Okay, so 7 and so how do you want to kill this guy?
Yeah, so Kanan's gonna see this guy running away and she's gonna be like, oh hell no. And she's just enjoying herself, running over real fast. She's gonna stab him in, like, just under and behind his arm. So here-ish.
Okay.
And then stab him again. So pop, and then again in the leg. And then break his neck.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. So you run over, you deliver that stab wound, stab down into his leg, go and just clock him on along the side with your elbow and crack his neck that way, and then slam him back the other way and crack his neck the other way, and he falls down. He's dead.
Kanan just brushes off her hands. You know, she's got it. Well, I guess she's got her dagger in her hand, so just kind of
Yeah.
feeling real good, and just turns around. It's
Okay.
like, all right, next guy.
All right.
Put me in, coach.
Yeah, I guess Kanan is the worst chiropractor, or the best, in that he's never going to feel any pain in his back again.
Yeah, never feeling pain again.
Fixed all of his problems and
Well,
just
Guys,
added one.
hold on.
Next up is the angel.
No.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, how good could he possibly be?
How high are you
Bye.
flying, Varus?
Oh, I'm just like right above the ground.
Okay. He flies up 50 feet and swoops down 40 feet and swoops down because he has a 90-foot movement, so I'm not going to go crazy. He goes, comes down 40 feet and just with the full force of his momentum slams into you with this massive golden mace. So that's... He's going to attack you twice there. So
It was nice knowing you guys.
the first hit is a 20 to hit,
Yeah,
and the next is a 20 to hit.
yeah.
The first one does 7 bludgeoning and 27 radiant damage.
Okay.
The second one is 5 bludgeoning and 18 radiant.
Okay, I'm no longer flying, first of all. Second of all, death ward, I'm at 1.
Okay. So as this second hit knocks Varus down, he slams down into the ground, and just you hear this wet splash, and mud and blood splatters up around the rest of you that are in that area, and this just got real. We'll say it that way. Yeah. And the Deva is just floating there, just flexing, and you see this lightning glow behind his eyes. Golden feathery wings flitting out behind him. Next up is Zarius. What would you like to do?
Holy shit. Zarius. Yeah. Kind of looking at these two. And I might as well. I don't think it's going to do anything to him, but he's going to use his other 5th level spell to cast the exact same thing he just did, but right here. And it will catch all 3 of these guys and our friend, unfortunately, but oh well.
Okay. Those deck saves, right?
Yeah, so cast Flame Strike again.
There's some damage. There you go.
That's a bit better.
Okay, so fail. Cam.
So that's, what, 32, 37.
Okay.
Although I doubt the Celestial dude actually takes the Radiant. He might not even take the fire. I don't know. But
it's just resistant to Radiant, so.
Okay. It was more to try to hurt the other two. But
okay, so this guy is just consumed in flame again. Another set of armor lies on the ground filled with ash.
I thought he was a turtle earlier.
Combat
Just
turtle.
Fun fact. Yeah, I was like, what the heck? Because I just saw the armor.
It's a ninja monk turtle.
Here we go.
I was like, what the heck?
Oh, where's my... There we go. You know
Oh no. Oh god.
You love it.
The Vagabonds have started another forest fire.
Sorry,
By the Vagabonds, I mean
Naira.
George.
Yeah, it wasn't me this time.
Wait, if the
Am I-
trees are on fire, do they do fire damage?
Yeah, I'll give him
by
an extra
rapid nature?
D4. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll
Is
fix
that
it
thing
later.
for everybody, or is it only enemies?
I think it's enemies.
And next
Okay.
question, is Zarius an enemy of the trees now?
That's the real question. It says, yeah, enemies, so.
Oh, well actually Zarius is out of the thing anyway, but
Okay, so, yeah, Cam is like, what the heck, guys? What's going on?
sorry.
Okay, and next up is Varus.
Oh!
Yeah. So, Varus, what would you like to do?
Be in pain, first of all. You said these trees are like tall, right?
Yeah, they're real tall. They're like 50 feet, 60 feet.
Are they thin? Like, do they have thin branches, or?
It's a pretty good
Like-
mix. Yeah, I mean they're like, I mean they're good, you know, probably 10-foot wide trunks, so they're fairly sizable.
Okay.
But there are thin branches, yeah. Oh, go
So,
ahead and move
like-
yourself serious.
Or I guess the better question is, can I see any branches that might be able to hold me up in the trees, like
Yeah.
maybe feet?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going to bonus action Misty Step into one of those branches in this tree.
Okay.
So preferably like on the other side of it.
Yeah, that's easy enough to do.
And then I'm going to use my I'm going to just use my action to use my Pearl of Power and get that spell slot back.
Okay, sounds good.
Just hide up in this tree, pretend like I'm not there.
Yeah. Okay, great. Next up is this thug guy who still sees the apparition of Varus there and is just going to swing at it anyway, so he misses his first attack. Because he's, you know, just some guy. And then realizing his mistake, he's going to take the damage from Anira. So whatever your damage is, I think it's 4d6. So go ahead and roll 4d6 and 1d4. This is within 10 feet of a tree.
Yeehaw.
So 10. Okay. Well, that's pretty good for this guy. He's pretty freaked out by that. And he's going to run over to Kanan and try to swing at Kanan.
That was a mistake, buddy.
I rolled a 22. Nice. So Kanan, you take 7 points of bludgeoning damage as this guy clubs you with the back of his mace, and then as you turn kind of with the hit, he looks very, very scared.
He should be.
Okay, and then this guy's dead. Next up is the archer, who is gonna just still fire at Zarius.
No.
And roll an 8 and a 12. So 2 arrows just come. Oh wait, hold on, I got a sound for that.
But they were flaming arrows.
Oh yeah, this tree is on fire, so this person's gonna have to move and take a d4 of damage. So that's that. He's gonna run out and run over to this tree here. So Kanan, not right next to you, but in the tree next to you.
Okay.
Okay, next up is Harriet. What would you like to do?
And the one who ran in the tree next to Kanan, was that the archer?
Yeah, that was the archer.
Or okay. Let's. How far are you, buddy? We're gonna try and play his game back at him, and she's gonna try and hit him with the heavy crossbow.
Okay, yeah, go for it. You let fire that heavy crossbow, and at the last moment, the flickering of the fire just catches you in the eye, and you just fire it and miss wildly. Roll a d100.
I know.
What?
98, okay. Good, you needed to roll above a 50 to not hit, it's just a d2 roll, but it's just
Okay.
to not hit Kanan.
More drama.
Yeah, raise the stakes up. But yeah, the crossbow bolt flies directly over your head, Kanan. You could catch it if you wanted to, but there's definitely no obligation to. It's not going to hit you, and it strikes the tree unless you want to catch it.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay,
It can hit the tree.
all right. Slams into the tree above your head. Harriet, you're going to shake the rust off. Anything else you'd like to do for your turn?
She's gonna move a little bit, be like, you know, the thing where she pretends that totally didn't just happen, and move forward a little to there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you now see clearly this massive hulking figure of an angel just glowing.
Yup.
Yeah. Okay, next up is Cam. Cam is going to just put out the fire that's on him and rush forward towards the angel. The Deva, and whatever hits. And it's just going to make some attacks. Okay. So only one of those hit, but he does some decent damage. Oops, I left it on Haley's screen on the thing there. Okay, so that's it. All that he can do. Next up is Enira. What would you like to do?
Yee. So first off, everyone within 10 feet of trees takes 46 damage.
Oh, it's at the start of your turn, huh? Not the start of their turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so we already did his damage. Go ahead and roll the 46.
But everyone else within...
Okay, 17 is pretty good.
And if any of them are near the flaming trees,
Okay.
that's an extra.
And is there a save on that at all? I just can't remember.
I
yeah.
think, yeah, it's dex save. Yeah.
Okay, the Deva is flying, so he's technically within it, but we'll give him a dex save anyway. Yeah, he succeeds, so now 20 succeeds. But still, he'll take half damage. Okay. All right. So.
And then the rest of my turn.
Yeah.
Because it's not an action, that's just the spell.
Yeah.
Symbiotic Entity for 40 extra temp hit points.
Sounds good.
Because it's 4 per druid level. And for fun, I have one more health potion, I think. But just a normal one.
Okay.
I have a greater, but I'll save that. Bonus action for saving.
Nice. All right. At the end of your turn... Oh, go ahead.
I'll probably move just like a...
All right.
End of your turn. Legendary action.
At the end of your turn, he's going to use a legendary action and move his movement speed and make an attack.
Cool.
So he flies towards you and just slams into you with this massive mace. Does a 22 hit?
Yes.
Don't worry, it's not too bad. 26 points of damage.
That's why I got extra temp hit points.
Not too bad.
So, also do a con save for your concentration.
Yep.
So I think that's good, right?
Had to beat 13.
Okay, yeah, you're good. All right, next up is Kanan. What would you like to do?
Yeah. Kanan's gonna attack these people that just got her. So she's gonna hit this guy first.
Okay.
So she'll turn around after he hits her and just kind of go for 2 stabs in his gut.
Okay, yeah, nice. Make your attack rolls. Ooh. First one doesn't hit. Second one hits. Okay, and nice. 17 points of damage. Okay, he's looking real rough.
Just gonna spend a key point for flurry of blows.
Okay. 12 does not hit this guy, unfortunately.
Is it 22?
Oh wait, no, 12 does hit. But yeah, 22 hits anyway.
Oh well.
Yeah, so how do you want to kill that guy?
So she'll just kind of like go to stab and then miss him, and then come up and like hit him in the back of the neck, so like under his shoulder.
Okay.
And then she'll hit him with her
Heel of her palm.
hand in his face. Yeah.
Nice. You hit, and his nose just crunches into his head, and he just collapses down. And you feel that kind of gross, just like you're squishing a bug, you know? Just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's gonna whip around and try to get this other person with her elbow.
Okay, yeah. She's in a tree, so you'd have to move up the tree to get her. But you can do that. You're
never mind.
Cat.
Oh yeah, I still have my movement. Yeah,
Yeah.
so she'll try to run up and
Okay. You can just stay where you are.
punch her, I guess.
Yeah.
Makes more sense.
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and make your other attack.
Well done. 16.
16. 16 hits. Nice. Yeah. You land a solid strike, and you can see you kind of dislocated her knee. She's trying to get up higher in this tree, so she's not going to be going anywhere anytime quickly. She's definitely just barely hanging on, but you see her kind of enraged draw out a short sword that she's going to try to stab down at you with on her turn.
Okay.
Anything else you'd like to do? You got movement left, you got all kinds of stuff? Okay. All right, next up is the Deva. The Deva is going to just lay into Inara.
Cool.
So he's going to just fly up and swing down just like he did against Varus, trying to just bludgeon you into the ground. The first strike is a 22.
That hits.
That's 28 points of damage. And the second one is a 23. So 19 points of damage on that one.
Okay, 14 plus 19. Yeah. I am still standing.
Okay.
Barely, but I'm still standing.
I'm still standing.
Yeah.
He's going to use the rest of his movement to come over towards you, Zarius. You're welcome to take an opportunity attack if you'd like, Inara.
I'll try.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm doing a
You're good.
variation.
Yeah, he's just moving with inhuman speed. He's flitting about the battlefield on wings of an angel, literally. Like he's zipping about.
I'll try a quarterstaff attack.
Okay.
Nice.
22
Why
hits.
didn't it roll damage?
That's okay.
I don't know why it didn't roll damage. What's the damage?
7 damage.
There it is. Cool.
All right. And you haven't cast Shillelagh, so actually your attack hits and just does nothing. I forgot. Sorry.
I did, didn't I?
Not at this fight. That's back at the library.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So yeah, you swing and you land a solid hit, and he doesn't flinch, doesn't react at all. No indication that you even hit him. Next up is Zarius.
Zarius seeing this behemoth of an angel in front of him and just kind of accepting all the different levels of screwed he is. And then did Zarius take note that he seemed to not take much damage from the radiant, or like less than he thought he would? Have?
Yeah, definitely would have noticed that.
Using like not really any reasoning, but kind of wanted to test. He's going to cast Inflict Wounds at 4th level.
Okay.
And I will add 10 to this if I think it's not going to hit.
Okay.
No, probably okay.
No, you're fine.
And he's like, maybe necrotic will work.
Okay.
Just a test.
Yeah. See, you reach out and you just touch your fingertips to the chest of this massive being, and you see the blackened necrotic energy flash out from your hand and spread across his body. This kind of grayish silvery skin just is corrupted in a moment. It takes some good damage from that. Seems like the spell had full effect.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that worked at least. This is going to hurt, isn't it? That'll just end his turn.
Okay. All right. Next up is Varus.
Bonus action, second wind.
Okay.
Catches breath, get some help. I'll take it. And then, how high up in the tree am I? Am I able to just like drop down?
Yeah, you drop down, no problem.
Okay.
Varus is dexterous enough.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just drop down, start seeing things because the tree was in the way. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so I can get over there. As I'm walking over there, I'll use my action to cast Mirror Image with the spell slot I just got back. So I have 3 of those. And then as I get there, I will Action Surge, and I want to try and hit this thing twice.
Right.
And if at least one of them hits, I'm going to use a goading attack.
Okay. Try to draw him into hitting you.
Yes, please.
Okay. 18 hits. Ooh. Yeah, 15 does not. Oh, okay. Are you adding the 10 to the 15?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so both of them hit. I'll mark off the damage. So 13, 25,
yeah. So
31. Nice.
We'll do a goading attack, so he has to make a wisdom save, and if he fails, he has disadvantage on attack rolls against anyone except me.
Okay, wisdom save.
Yeah, has to beat 17.
Okay, he rolled a 28, so.
Yeah, he's fine. But I'll also do distracting strike on the second one, so whoever attacks him next has advantage.
Okay.
Kind of like spit in his eye or something. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's it for me.
Okay. As a legendary action, you see him place his hand on his chest, and this sort of glowing, radiant light pours from his hand into his chest, and he regains some hit points. And that's his legendary action. Next up, this archer is terrified of Kanan and is going to make 2 stab attacks. First one's a 19.
Oh yeah, that hits.
All right, so the first one, 19, deals a solid 9 points of piercing damage. The second one, rattled, is just gonna swing and miss at a 9.
Okay.
And then the archer is gonna try to get out of the tree and fall and make a dexterity saving throw at disadvantage because she's got a broken leg.
Kanan likes to keep scored.
10.
I was gonna throw her out of the tree.
Yeah, she sees you there and tries to like maneuver around and just slips and falls because her knee's already dislocated, and falls and just collapses onto the ground. You hear cry out in pain. She's laying on the ground prone. She's got the snail because she's not going anywhere. All right, next up is Harriet. What would you like to do?
Out of the tree.
All right. Remind me which. Oh, hold on. This fool is right here.
That's Cam.
Oh, the K. I'm not gonna attack Cam then. You lad.
Good.
He's been hit enough.
He literally said, "Please don't stab me in the back."
Yeah, and Harriet would know that. It's just me as my visual memory is for it, and I'm like, which token is who?
It's just funny. Cam was like, "Hey, if you're gonna shoot me, don't do it in my back," and then right away gets torched.
Just right away.
There is. Okay. Well, seeing. Well, first she's gonna second wind.
Okay.
Which I think I don't have.
Varus, remind me what that is. What roll
1d10
is
plus 3 per level.
4.
Per level. The bonus action.
Nice, get that 12 hit points.
Take that. And she's gonna try. How far is this thing?
Cast a fireball right there.
Yeah, I can't do that one, but I appreciate the effort or the thought. Oh, that's. My computer will cool down a little bit. Okay, there we go. She's gonna use Twin Spell.
Nice.
And try Ray of Sickness. I know Harriet wouldn't know if this would work or not, so we're gonna see. But...
Okay. Turn to Ray of Sickness on both of them, right? Range spell attack. Okay, so roll it again. Yeah, there you go. 2d8 must make a con save. All right, so the which one is going to which? I'll let you choose.
I mean, just in order. I can't click very well because of the way the tree is right here.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're fine. Okay, so the first one does not hit. The second one does hit. You managed to sickening ray the one on the ground over there, the archer. Who that's enough to kill her. So how do you wanna poison her to death?
She's just, watching all this happen and pulling up her quarterstaff and has been trying to hit this archer a few times now. And finally just, come on! Just get with it, I'm sick of this.
Okay, great. Yeah, you release the spell, and the sickening ray just hits her, and you see just kind of greenish pallor form over her body. And she starts to vomit and then eventually just quickly die. Dead. Too bad for Kanan. The other one does not hit the Deva. Anything else you'd like to do for your turn?
That's all for me.
Okay. Next up is Cam. Cam is gonna run. Not make it there. He's gonna throw a spear instead.
Yes. Get him!
Wow, he used to do really good. 24 to hit. 6 points of piercing damage as the spear just throws it and it sinks into the Deva's muscles before he just grabs it and breaks it off, pulls it out of him. That's all that Cam can do. He can only throw one of his only spears. Next up is Anira.
Yee, I'm gonna cure wounds myself, 4th level, because I am at 3 hit points. That's only 9, but it's not 3.
22.
That's a cure wounds is an action, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's 20, right?
Yeah, 20 points of healing.
Oh, I only read the bottom one.
Yeah,
Right.
not 9.
Yeah, I'm so used to the top box being just like that to hit. Yeah, I used both wild shapes.
You rolled a hit if you're healing.
Yeah, rolled a hit for healing damage. That's a spell. I'm gonna hang out behind Harriet.
All right.
Oh, and is anyone within 10 feet of trees?
Not anyone that's alive.
Okay. Can I drop concentration?
Sure, yeah.
I guess I have to. If I do cure wounds, I have to drop concentration,
No,
right?
Cure Wounds isn't concentration spell.
Oh, it's only other great.
Yeah.
I thought it was just any other spell, total.
Yeah, so you can leave it
Cool.
up if you'd like to, or drop it either way.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's doesn't do much, so I'll drop concentration just to...
All
so
right.
it's one less roll I have to make
Sure.
when I inevitably take damage.
Okay, next up is Kanan. What would you like to do?
Finish him.
All right, Kanan is going to leap. Oh gosh, wrong thing. Here we go. It's gonna leap to the. I'm assuming she was in this tree.
Yeah.
Here.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so she's gonna leap to this tree.
Easy enough. Great.
climb up like a couple more feet. I don't know how high we were.
10 or 15 feet up.
10 or 15. Yeah, so she's gonna climb up another 5-10 feet and then leap as far as she can and try to land on Mr. Angel Guy.
Okay. Are you trying to grapple, or are you just trying to like land and do an attack?
Land and do an attack.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Okay, great. Make your attack roll. That's really cool. First, I'll have you do, one acrobatics check first. Just to see how smoothly you can manage. 25. Excellent. You scurry up the tree, leap to the other tree, and you prepare yourself to do that kind of butt wiggle that cats do, and then launch yourself from it out onto, and you manage to land right onto the back of this Deva, his wings protruding out, just kind of flapping, blowing the water around. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
Okay.
I'll give you an extra D4 for the damage if you hit. Yeah, 25 hits. Go and roll D4 for momentum and all that. Yeah, nice. Okay, so that's 17, right? Yeah, nice.
I'm gonna stab him again.
All right.
Maybe.
18 hits, yeah.
Okay, and then I'm gonna spend a key point to flurry of blows.
Okay.
Well, she's not hitting so hot now.
That one does hit. The last one does hit.
Okay.
And your weapon attacks are magical. Your unarmed strikes are magical for the purposes of overcoming damage resistance, so you do full damage.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And then she's gonna hang out there.
All right. At the end of your turn, Dave is going to use a legendary action, and he's just going to take a swing at Varus with the intent of trying to knock him back. So it may not be full damage, but he's going to try to just knock him backwards. I would say a 26 will do it.
Okay. Do you want me to roll for mirror image still then?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So he hits one of my mirrors.
Okay. So just woof, and you could feel the weight of this thing. You've already felt it up close and personal, but you feel the weight of this thing whip right by. It would have cleaved your head off had it hit you. But he just looks down. You see the lightning kind of flicker in his eyes, just enraged. Next is his turn. So he is going to... What is he going to do? He's going to... Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna just swing at you, Varus. Mad that he missed the first time. So that's 20. That's a 26.
Okay, another one of my mirrors.
Okay, he's gonna swing one more time. Very enraged.
And the last mirror is gone.
Well, the first. So you have 3, right? Yeah. Okay, that's right. Yeah.
So they're all gone now.
Okay, and then he is gonna fly up into the air, 55 feet.
Taking opportunity attacks or no?
Yeah, go for it if you'd like to.
I'd love to do that.
Is that an advantage with flanking or not? I don't know how opportunity attacks work.
I guess he's between you as he's leaving, so yeah, I'd give you advantage.
Okay. Stab.
Nice, yeah, that hits.
Hey, twins.
Both of those
That's a
hit,
double.
Yeah.
Kanan.
I'm good.
Okay. And you're starting to see some wear on this, some cracks in the facade, so to speak. He's definitely not like right on death's door, but he's he's hurting. Anything else? Oh, and he's flying. Let me add an indicator for that so I don't forget. There we go. Anything else that you all would like to do for your turn? Or that it's his turn, so never mind. Zarius, go ahead.
That changes things again. How high up did he fly?
55 feet.
Oh, that's real high. Yeah, okay. Zarius will just shoot. I guess. Ooh, this could be fun to try. With his last 4th level spell, he's gonna try to cast Banishment on the.
Okay.
On the thing.
Okay.
Let me see. I know there's
charisma
rules if it's
save, so
not from.
Yeah, so I pasted it in the chat. I think it's back to its plane of existence.
Charisma save. If it's from a different plane, it goes there forever. Otherwise, it's just there. It's just in a demi plane for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this thing's charisma's probably amazing. So.
What's your spell save DC?
17.
Boop.
Oh.
You see him pull back like he's gonna swing down and just like full power dive bomb you with the mace, and you cast the spell, open up the portal, and he just and disappears with a faint popping noise. Vanishes.
Well.
Do you have a way to tell if he went just into a demi-plane or just like a plane?
As long as I.
That's sky to
concentrate on it for a minute and it'll stay there forever, or something. Even if it is a demi-plane, right?
So yeah, it says if the target is native to a different plane of existence than the one you're on, the target is banished with a faint popping noise, returning to its home plane. If the spell ends before 1 minute has passed, the target reappears in the space it left. So
Gotcha. So Zarius is gonna go sit by a tree for a minute.
Really focus.
Yeah. Make absolutely certain. And
Okay.
so I just have to not lose concentration for a minute, and it'll just be gone. Probably to its home plane.
Is this
What?
part of letting will other people know that it was us that did this?
I could bring him back.
He's not dead yet, so.
Okay. Well.
Is this all right?
I don't have any idea what just happened. 1 minute he's here,
Okay, so
and then he's gone.
I sent him to another plane.
Do you know which one?
No, wherever he's from.
Oh, well then.
He's in Seattle.
That's gonna be a bad time for
Cipher.
him.
Okay. Oh, it's bad for him?
Well, yeah.
Why?
How is it?
Well, you may have heard. Okay, we're getting off this.
Okay, I really love stories and everything,
Sorry,
but we've got 40 seconds to make this decision.
Sorry, we're on DM pause here because I gotta find
Yeah.
the right mood to tell this story in.
How
I didn't
dare you
foresee this
contribute to the
outcome.
storytelling?
Um,
How dare you build a world?
Well, that was more towards Cam, just beginning of the story. Do I bring him back?
Don't take your time. We have 40 seconds.
Yes or no?
Okay, so Cam says, well, he is one of these angels, these celestials, just like I'm sure you've heard of Tadriel. Well, they aren't really well liked where they came from. They did some bad stuff, and now they are excluded and banished, you could say. So if he's got sent back there, that's gonna be a bad time for him.
So are we leaving him there?
He's not coming back, right?
Yeah, unless someone hits me in the next 30 seconds.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Ethan gets ready.
Kanan, that was if he was told to bring him back, he was going to tell Kanan to punch him.
So he's just gone. You just did that, Zarius. Am I clear?
Well, yeah, we've seen banishment before.
Remind me not to make you angry. You're just gonna banish me back to where I came from.
Oh, I want to make you angry now.
Well,
You want to leave us that bad?
No, I just want to see what banishment is like.
we've
Don't do
been
it right
banished.
Have we?
We've had people cast it on us before.
I think we've been there.
I don't know if
Kanan's
I've
been banished several times.
I don't know if I've been banished before.
I mean, maybe not.
I don't think that's a
I
bad
can't
thing.
do it again today, but if you
No, I don't want
tomorrow.
you. No, I'm good. But
Sarius just starts doing banishment for a fee.
Yeah.
See what it's like to experience the void.
Someone just has to punch him at like 55 seconds.
I'll be here to bring you back.
Yeah, there you go. Oh god, guys, the tree just went up in flames.
Balthazar is gonna hate that one.
Oh, can I tidal wave the tree?
Sure. Tidal wave
Just
the
then
tree.
tidal wave the tree.
All right. Fires
What
go
is
out.
going on?
Because I'm not trying to hurt anything. I'm just trying to summon water and.
Cam, did we get your thing? Did we?
Oh, yeah.
Where is the letter?
Oh, did he have...
Let's look. Let's look through his pack here.
It's like on fire.
We banished. It's on fire, soaking wet now from time.
It's fine. We're
It's
gods.
like all those books back in the library.
All right, let me close out of all the things there. So Cam goes over, and you see that the satchel is still there. It's a very nice, like, leather satchel, but as you get closer, you can see all these etchings all over it. It's definitely like a magical container, kind of like Kanan's box or, bag of holding, that kind of thing. So it's not affected by, like, physical types of damage, like fire or water or whatever. It's just not going to be affected by it.
Not the magic box.
Even those are like magical damages, it's not gonna. Yeah, I mean, this thing's gonna be fine. It'll take quite a bit of effort to destroy it. But he pops it open, just a simple like buckle clasp. He pops it open, and he starts to pull out a bunch of scrolls. If someone would like to give him a hand, you can make an investigation check.
I'll help.
Yeah, whoever is looking through with him, just one person.
Because I'm nosy.
Okay.
20. Okay.
So wherever he is, where is he? Up here?
Yeah. As
I guess
he's
it doesn't
kind of
matter
like
anymore.
pulling out these things, he's kind of just taking them out and briefly looking at them and like the inscription that's on the outside and handing it to you, just like making this pile. And as he's doing so, you're kind of filtering through what you think might be important. You see there's a ton of like scrolls with information on trade and economics, the rate of gold pulled from the mines, transactions, tax revenue, all those kinds of things. Seems like just the business of running a territory. You see that it does contain some intelligence reports, and as you're kind of sifting through these while Cam's handing them to you, apparently what you open up one or two as he's doing this, and you find that there are reports on an apparent naval blockade somewhere outside of Haversteep Bay, but you're not really sure. Like, you don't know that area at all, so none of this stuff really means anything to you. It's just, there's a naval blockade, and this is...
Can I try and take him with me? Like, are we...
Yeah, he's
trying
not
to
like...
be nice and leave stuff behind? Cool.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like taking the stuff out looking for the specific thing that he came for.
Okay. I will take those reports.
He does take out one, and you see there's a letter. It's sealed with a wax stamp of a signet ring. The symbol on it looks like a lightning bolt splitting a tree in two. He flips the card over, and it has writing on the front, and he looks at it, and he's like, oh, good. Language I don't speak. Any of you speak Celestial?
I do! That's Sky saying that.
I do as well.
And Ira, since he's right there, is like, let me... Do I speak? Yeah, I do. Let me take a look.
Gotta double check.
He hands you the letter, and the cover is illegible to you and Ira.
Great. Is it illegible, like, ruined by, like, smearing, or is it just, like, a weird, like, old Celestial?
It's like reading a bunch of nonsense letters. Like, it's a bunch of, like, someone just slammed the keyboard, is how it looks to you.
Could I have some experience with reading codes. I assume with my just experience in life, like being able to tell if something is a code, could we say?
Well, it's, so, like, with Druidic, yeah, I mean, you might have because Druidic is written in, it's basically code. It doesn't,
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, Celestial in this case is very strange. Hello, thanks for following. Happy to have you here. Sorry, I just had
We have a
notification
follower?
come up. Yeah.
Yay! Anyway.
So, you're having a tough
I really
time.
thought someone just walked into your room.
So did I.
I was like, you were really casual about something breaking into your house.
Hello, thanks for joining us today.
So you're having a tough time. You're really looking at this, trying to like wrap your head around it, but it's like as you try to understand each part of the title of the letter, it evades you. It's like actively working against you. That's how it feels. Celestial is a difficult language in general, and it's challenging to read. And this is like it's purposefully designed to thwart someone trying to read it.
Zarius, you wanna?
Oh, yeah. I'll give it a look over. I'm assuming it's probably the same thing.
Does it get any different?
Zarius, you pick it up and you feel this warmth just hit you in the back,
Oh,
and just kind of flow over your body. And it's a very familiar warmth at this point. And you feel it kind of like build up towards your head. Kind of like, you ever get that feeling of like you're just full up to your eyes kind of feeling? It's just that. You just feel warm and like overcome by this. And as you look at it, the letters just rearrange themselves. And it just says, Shepherd.
What do you need this for?
Cam says, oh, well, this is... I guess since you did just help us do all this, I can tell you pretty candidly, I think. So we're trying to kill Tadriel.
Well, like to hear that. Love it, to be honest. This is about, it just says shepherd. Probably
oh, well,
shepherd.
Great. That's what we need. Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Cool, yeah. Well, I have it. I don't know if you can read it or not. I can read it to you.
I can't read it, but I also don't have any idea what it's gonna say. And I don't make those kinds of decisions. I come out here and I capture the guys. I don't really do that kind of thing. So
maybe we take
Who
that
does
to
that
the...
kind of thing?
Zarius will kind of like thumb through it, but I mean, he can wait until we get back.
If you'd like to. I mean, it's sealed, so you know.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
No.
Let's put it in Kanan's special warded box.
Kanan, would you mind keeping this in the box in case someone comes looking for it?
I mean, the box is for things I'm gonna make stuff out of, but yes, I can.
Or does
Just
anyone else
remind
have
me
it?
it's in there.
I have my bag.
I have
So let's put it in.
I also have
Well,
you
pockets.
have
We can
Harriet's
just stick it
box.
in a pocket. I think it'll be fine.
But then someone could find it very easily. Like I could use scrying on it.
It just looks like
Here,
paper
we
to
can-
me.
We can keep it in here, and
We'll
Kanan
put
will
it
pull
in
out her box, and
We're just
say-
really against pockets.
say,
Actually,
she'll say, "In Historiam Omnium Nostrum," and the box will open.
Okay.
Oh, the
Perfect.
familiar phrase.
yes, that thing I've heard before.
Okay. All right. So to be brief, because we're closing in on the time that I have for the session tonight, we'll be brief and say that you collect. If you want to search around the different bodies, you can. If anyone would like to. I don't want to rush.
I would like to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I would like to.
Go ahead and make two people make investigation checks.
I'll make one because I'm nosy. We're gonna loot, kill, pillage, and burn. We're gonna loot, kill, pillage, and burn. Eat the babies. Loot, kill.
Okay.
Sorry, what?
Between the two of you, you do a pretty good job. A lot of you find in sort of a puddle under the two people that were turned to ash. There's this like flat spot of gold that was probably worth like 40 or 50 gold before it melted. But these guys were toasted, so it cooled off in the water. You could grab it if you want, but they are done. You find obviously the sets of armor. It's just plate armor, basic plate armor. You find a lot of basic weapons and stuff. You don't really find anything of monetary value. You see one guy has a bunch of IOU notes, apparently from some
He's in debt.
some casino that
Aw.
that he's been going to, I guess.
Free of debt. Hey, we
Vagabonds
did it.
are apparently anti-gambling, as we've
Yeah,
learned in
so-
the past.
Made him pay his debts one way or the other.
Pull
Yeah.
a knife on a guy in Renovash because he's a gambler.
Kanan's having a hard time, okay?
But there's really not much else. The gold that they had was pretty much the run of it, and it's melted together, so you could take it if you'd like to.
I'm good.
I'm leaving it for some other
Matt.
person to find. Yeah.
would Zarius know, with his limited experience with like the scrying spell and everything, if he were to cast that on the scroll that we just put in there in the box that I think Corzin's hand is also in, would he also see Corzin's hand? Like if someone goes looking for the scroll.
Yeah, just make a wisdom check.
Okay. And it's totally cool if he doesn't know, because I don't think he's tried. So
22. Yeah, so your knowledge with scrying is it kind of gets imbued to you every time you level up, that kind of thing. You're pretty aware that like when scrying, you just see the one thing.
Okay.
And you also know that it doesn't work across planes. You have to be on the same plane, so yeah.
Wanted to make sure that we weren't gonna...
Yeah. Not gonna reveal the hand of Corzin, yeah.
Hey, we're missing the scroll. Let's look for that.
Yeah. So
is that the hand?
Cam leads you all back to Moorstop, and you enter into the city. Let me switch us back to the town. Enter back into the city, back into Frankenbeans, and hear that same music still playing. Most of the crowd has died down. You get the feeling that a lot of these people rotate out as kind of security. They are they're there to act as patrons. But you're...
Is that why they all have weapons?
You enter in, and Cam is really, like, happy to be back. You can see he's just, like, relaxed. Frank is still up talking with a few of the other people who are there, who get quiet right when you come in. They kind of quiet down. And Cam goes up and kind of whispers real quietly to him. And Frank nods and says... Well, she'll be glad to know that. She's downstairs now, but I think she might need to rest for the night. And then turns to you all and says, well, great work. I hear things went swimmingly. I don't know really what you did to the messenger, but here he's gone, so that's good.
Got him.
He's probably going to have a very bad day, wherever he is.
That's good to hear. Did you get the letter?
Oh, yeah. Here's this.
Yeah.
I haven't... Yeah?
I've got it in the box, right?
That's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
In the
pull out the
2
box.
Look.
Just say in... I have to remember this. In Historiam Omnium Nostrum, and she'll pull it out.
Okay.
Say, here it is. I don't know what it says.
The front
I can
page says
hardly
shepherd.
read common.
Frank takes it and looks at it and is immediately like, ugh, like he's looking at it through, all the backward side of a magnifying glass, just like, he says, she's gonna want to see this, isn't she, to Cam? And Cam's like, yeah. It's like, well, okay, I guess go get her. And Cam leaves and goes down the stairs and comes back up a moment later. And you hear slow, kind of heavy-ish footsteps coming up the stairs. And the door opens, and you see a fairly beautiful woman come out with dark hair, dark kind of brownish hair. She's got like a tinge of yellow in her eyes, kind of almost pointed, like mouse-like features, almost. Kind of like a... I don't know how to describe that right. Just kind of an angular face, but very like, small at the nose and mouth. And you see her, she steps out, her nose kind of twitches. And she looks at you all and does a double take and says, well, I never thought I'd see you again. Don't you recognize me? And that is where we're going to end the session.
Oh!
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. We'll go through this dialogue.
Oh, thank God.
I just wanted that.
Also, I need to talk to Zarius because I'll forget next week.
She says, don't you recognize me? Well, we've met before.
We have?
When?
In very deed. We met, it was a small town. I believe the name was Phandalin.
Oh, no.
That was a long time.
Zarius is like,
Never been.
Where is this town?
Oh, it's up near the Sword Coast. Past the Calamon
I've
Timberland.
I've never been up.
Yes,
Wait.
me and several of you here made a deal once.
No way.
You know,
Your
that's
name starts
wild.
with a Z, doesn't it?
It is I, Zeline.
One and
Right.
only.
And didn't your group try to kill a couple kids?
Hey, no, we helped them out.
Well, that is a story I'll have to tell you. But first, we have some business to attend to, I see.
Apparently.
If I'd have known it was you that Arcturus called, I would have sent word. I'm sorry. His loss is deeply troubling. Well, shall we see to this letter?
It's
And she takes it and kind of gives that same reaction that Anira and Frank had, just that, like, it's kind of hard to look at. He flips it over or she flips it over and pops the seal there and pulls the letter out, and it's like pages, it's multiple pages. She pulls out and kind of just is really having a hard time looking at, and she says, who was the one that read it?
Yeah, I can do that for you.
Thank you. I read Celestial, but this is something different.
Yeah, it's something with lady upstairs lets me read it. I don't know.
I don't know what that means, but please, if you don't
That's
mind.
fine.
The lady upstairs.
So as you begin to read, the letter appears to be like a detailed categorical list of different names, presumably creatures, each with a set of numbers beneath it that correspond to a date on the left side, like a spreadsheet. The creatures range from the familiar, like earth elementals and bandits, to the totally strange, like Devas, Planetars, Balhanoth, Coatl, and Illithid, among many, many, many others. There's a set of notes at the bottom that offers some explanation of the data in the chart. So you can kind of get the sense of, like, these are tallies of some kind of, like, whether this is how many they saw or fought or what, you'd have no idea. But this does appear to be some kind of list of some kind that
It's
has been
the army.
Yeah, you don't know. Could be.
God.
The notes that kind of give, it's like a paragraph or two at the bottom, say in short, I'm not going to give you the whole thing, but it says in short, it seems you were right to send Ozek and the Mothagoth. Something is disturbing the Celestial Gate. Not to worry, nothing will escape. As for those who felled the champion, I will ensure their complacency within my borders. Your faithful servant, Tadriel. As you read that the name, Tadriel, it's like you're reading two words slammed on top of each other at the same time. It's really hard to, you know a little bit about the Celestial Plane, that things are more like ideas are corporeal there. So you're reading Tadriel, but at the same time you're reading, it's a word akin to justice. Or judgment would be closer. I'll post the whole message in the chat.
T.M.
And stop.
Shepherd.
So are we giving this over to you, or?
This will aid us greatly. These are numbers regarding those coming from the mines. There's a Celestial Gate there.
Coming from? Like,
Oh, yes.
there's a lot on this list.
Yes. It's been quite the challenge here. The Rimis mountain range is replete with otherworldly entities. There's a Celestial Gate, a Divine Gate there, and there are all kinds of awful creatures from the Underdark. Welcome to Haversteep. It's good to see you, friends. And that's where we'll end the session.
Oh boy.
Zeline, that's dope.
That's
I remembered
cool.
her name started with a Z. That was it.
All right. Well, thank you for everyone watching. We really appreciate you sticking around, hanging out. Thank you to our new follower, Savage Outlawed. It's really cool that you've decided to follow.
Yes.
Very excited.
Yeah.
Iconic behavior.
I might know that.
If you want to watch any more, you can check it out on YouTube. It's great. But anyway, that's what we're going to call it.
Do I know you?
And I hope everyone has a wonderful night. Thank you again for joining us, especially the players. Thank you so much for coming and having fun.
Stay cool.
Good night, everyone.